few of those that have been bouncing around that we haven't been able to cover that you're about to get with Sharif
There should be some.
and Joe.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Boom! What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade during the midday. That right there, you can't see him. I don't know why. That's your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And let's bring in the chat and shout out all the good people joining us on this Friday. Shout out to All Tank, Nicholas. Oh, we got Safe, we got Fiddlebeck, we got JF Trader. How about Jack C. Dub? Yes, I see you, sir. Juan Padilla and the world's greatest mod. Talking about Bears versus Dang Bulls, Racer X9 and Pitchbull. Jason Grace and Tez, full-time trader. That's what I want to hear. Po Wa Chan. Okay. The Piper, Jacked Up, DLV, Jeremy Newman and T Money. Yo, Oscarito and Canada Club. How about After Star Money, C Money, Sadiq, Jacques, Vern, Ronaldo. We got Michael Ripper. I like that one. That's a good one. Yeah, reminds me of some stuff. Mr. Ian, Bren Rex, Tilster and Dino Abadini, Bobby Posey, Jonathan, Ozan China, Mr. China. He likes that. He likes the cash cow. We got Stevenson. We got Why Not. We got ABF. We got Fernando, Amir Abdullah, ACK, Mav Fatim. And how about Showtime 1420 Jack? What are you doing tonight, boy? That's Friday. Nico, Fat Pat. Okay, Fat Pat. I like that. I like that, Fat Pat. Big Finesse. All right, a couple more here. Chanda, Money Brew, Misham, and here we go. DJ Gretzky. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining Joseph and I on this Friday. It's been a hell of a week, Joe. We've been up, we've been down. We even went sideways around.
Burn around, up, down, eastbound, and all of it. Eastbound and down, guys. But let's see what we got going on. We got a hot lesson. We're going to touch on a couple things before we get right into it here, guys. IBIT this morning, trading half decent. Put on not enough shares, but that's okay. If we could pull up my screen here, that'd be absolutely fantastic. There we go. So guys, just basic risk management here. If I were to pull up my notes, I said, hey, give yourself a couple attempts at these trades, and then give yourself also enough risk to take those trades once again. So here we go, guys. The same stuff in here. This is what I'm risking, right? So if I'm in at 50, 65, I'm out at 46, so that's like 10 pennies right there. Get out of that trade, but then it holds this level. Just a little liquidity grab right there, guys, back in, and then we add to the position, and then there we go. We take it to the top side with Bitcoin. At the top, yeah, we almost got the peak right there, so we like that one, but now pulling back, waiting for this crypto summit to really start to kick off. So looking forward to that, guys. Before we hop into the lesson, Sharif, we're going to look at the top performing sectors here this morning, guys. So in first place, you know the routine, guys. We're gonna go the win play show. First place we got about energy up about 1.45% here. Sorry, a little bit tripping over myself. Utilities 0.86% here, so we'll call it 0.9. Consumer staples up about 0.5%, closer to 0.6 there, guys. So that is your win play show. What we got here in third last is the communication service being slacked by Meta. Sharif, you're referring that to me. Gonna crack 600. Consumer discretionary sitting in second last year, down 1.4, and then the financials getting beat up again here, down 1.42 as well there, guys. So that is the IBIT trade. Gonna look for a bounce in the market. We are trading below the volume weighted average price, so keep that in mind, guys. Look for that rejection of those key levels, Sharif.
All right, we want to shout out DJ Gretzky. Thank you for the 50 Norwegian kroners. Thank you very much, my man. I do appreciate that. Let's go. I see you there, Mav Fatim. He's talking about BTOG. It's a good-looking stock. It's kind of a small cap, gapperish. It's south of $1. Triple top at 57 pennies. We're going to look at that as soon as we're done the lesson of the day. Today, guys, we're continuing our discussion on the measured move. Today, we're going to be talking about scalping using the measured move. So scalping thrives, obviously, on capturing tiny profits with frequent trades. Measured moves, I should say, when used strategically, can become your secret weapon for intraday scalping. Here's how to combine these powerful concepts. Let's start with, as we always do, just recapping what a measured move is. Imagine a stock surges. $2 intraday, a measured move at its most basic, often is based on historical price retracements, which estimates the potential future support and resistance levels. So in this case, a 50% retracement suggests a dip to $1.50 before potentially resuming the uptrend. Kind of that's what we're talking about when we're talking about a measured move. Very, very simple calculation. This is the calculated measured move, not the chart pattern measured moves, which are different, which are based on the size, length, and duration of the chart patterns. This is a little different. I probably should have started with that. But. All right, so scalping during these measured moves. I'm going to submit to you 4 steps. First, you want to identify that strong trend. So scalping works best in trending markets. Use technical indicators or price action analysis to confirm an uptrend or a downtrend. So for step number 1, identify a strong trend, whether it's moving up or it's moving down. 2, spot the initial price move. So you're looking for a significant price move within the trend. For example, a sharp jump in an uptrend. So for example, you know, we're making higher highs and higher lows on, well, what's making higher highs and higher lows these days? I don't know. Well, we're making lower lows and lower highs because everything's tanking these days on NVIDIA. And then we get like a DeepSeek headline like we just did, maybe one more from around efficiency and lack of CPU or GPU usage. All of a sudden, NVIDIA tanks even more, despite the fact that it was already making a downtrend. So the trend starts accelerating. So number 1, you're identifying a strong trend. 2, you want to spot the initial price move in the trend. So you're looking for a significant move within the trend. 3, you want to calculate now the measured move. So you want to apply a retracement level. For example, 50, 61.8, 38.2, all the different fib retracement levels that we already know about. So you want to apply a retracement level to estimate a potential support and resistance zone. Now I'm going to pause here and say that when you have these retracement levels, the one that corresponds the most with the price action resistance level is the one that you should probably be looking at. For example, we just talked about NVIDIA dropping. If there was, say, support at NVIDIA at 105, I see it's trading at 111, and a fib retracement level also happens to correspond with that 105 level, then that's the one that you should be using, okay? So I know maybe you've used different one in the past, like a 50% most of the time, but the one that corresponds the best with price action support is the one that you should focus on. Step number 4, a couple of sub-steps here, your entry and your exit with precision. So in an upward trend, enter a long position near the calculated retracement level, for example, like $1.50 off that $2 area. As the price dips, you want to exit shortly after the price bounces and shows signs of resuming the uptrend. For example, a small breakout above the retracement level. In a downward trend, you want to enter a short position near the retracement level. Again, like that $1.50 that works both ways. As the price rises, you want to exit shortly after the price confirms a downtrend by breaking below the retracement level that you already had planned out there. So those are the 4 steps. Some key considerations, though, that you need to take into account. Volatility. It is your friend. It might not feel like that this week, I know, especially with some long-term accounts really getting hit hard, but volatility as an intraday trader is your friend, believe it or not. Measured moves work best in volatile markets with frequent price swings offering more opportunities for scalping entries and exits. And you should also think about tighter stops here, right? You're scalping. We're not holding for $1, or maybe we are. It depends really on what you're scalping. So you want to use tighter stops. So scalping profits are small, so use strict stop loss orders placed slightly below the entry price for longs to limit losses on an expected price rise, and slightly above for shorts to limit losses to the upside. Also, make sure to set your stop and profit takers right after entering the trade to make sure that you can get in and out according to plan. I mean, that's something that I do. It just helps me with my small cap gapper trades, and most of them are scalping trades. So I like to throw out my stop right away. It helps me stay disciplined in the trade. And I also like to put my beak wetters, the profit takers, get it, Adira, just so that, you know, if the price pops up into my level, and I'm not looking at it, and because, you know, I'm old or because I'm looking at something else, I want the computer to take profits more for me, so I throw my profit takers on right away, right when I get into the trade. And managing risk. So scalping involves frequent trades, as we know, so risking a significant amount per trade can quickly drain your capital. Maintain good risk management skills, just keep that in mind. And some tips to take your scalping further, right? Combine the measured move with price action. I kind of gave you that idea already. If you're doing these retracement levels and one of the fib retracement levels happen to correspond with a key area of either support or resistance, use that fib level. So combining the measured move with price action, look for confirmation signals like candlestick patterns at the retracement level to increase your confidence in your entry points, and use market orders for faster entries. I got to disagree with this. I'd rather use a spready limit order with a wider spread than using market orders, but the book here says consider using market orders to ensure you get into a fast-moving scalping opportunity, but be aware of potential slippage. For me, I'd rather tell the computer buy from $5.10 to $5.20. That way I know if I'm in the trade, if I get filled, the maximum slippage I'll have is 9 pennies, 10 pennies, right? Whereas if you throw a market order in there, it could literally be anything. Obviously, you know, realistically speaking, it's going to be within a certain sum, but it's just a bit of a wild card for me. I'd rather use a trigger and a limit. So a limit order with a bit of a spread. Last but not least, practice, practice, and practice. You know, if you want to try a new strategy out that you don't really have experience with, you can try trading in a demo account like a sim account, or you can try trading live with smaller shares just to kind of get your feet wet. And as I always say, I hope everybody brings up a
Everybody. Yeah, guys, so we're in some IBIT. Again, just buying the top of the range, looking for that breakout, but the market doesn't want to seem to cooperate just now. So what we will do is if we break the low end of this range, we'll just get back out, because then we possibly can take another leg to the downside, but then we'll look for another possible entry as well too, guys. So we'll just keep that in mind around... See, that's the thing, right? You don't want to put your stop mid-range, because that's where the stock is chopping on. That's where this underlying is chopping in. So you want to put your stops here. I should have been in a lot earlier here, but I just wanted that volume to kind of start to pick up, and then we can look to participate. But then it just faked out and then is now dragging lower and lower. So that's okay. We'll wait. Unfortunately, we have to give this one about 50 cents or so. So a little bit wider stop than what I would like. We are constructing some higher lows right here as well too. Sorry, some lower highs there, guys. So just keep that in mind. Not a good look on that front, especially on the 1 minute time frame. Now, 132 in the chat was talking to me about some open interest and gamma levels here, and he's right about that. I pulled up the options chain, and then we can see that at 480 on the Qs, we have with this expiration cycle, so March 7th, we see the most open interest at that 480 on the put side. And then if we go to the call side, we're looking at 490 and then roughly 495 as well too, guys. So just keep that in mind, those potential targets and or support and resistance zones. So what does that tell us when we have some high levels of open interest at 490, 495, and then 480? Maybe the market's just going to trade within that range, okay? So keep that in mind and into consideration. But guys, let's see what Adair is up to.
Aware, I think you're there, Sharif. Just be aware, lots to keep an eye on today. Trump is supposed to speak at 11 a.m. The White House did not provide a theme for his comments, but he also hasn't taken the podium yet. I have the stream open. The other things to be aware of here are we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 12:30 and the crypto conference starting at 1:30 p.m. If I have updates on any of these, I will keep you posted. Back to the guys.
And
not him.
The big one.
Yeah, not him.
Oh, God.
Hold on.
There he is. He's dunking on everybody, bro. That's
my favorite. That's my new favorite clip there, guys. All right, yeah, we'll get right to doing something here. But here we go. So this is what we need to worry about. If we can punch through this and that volume picks up on the 1 minute time frame, then I think we'll be sitting pretty. And then the next target is obviously the volume weighted average price. So again, just risk to reward, not the best setup, but we'll hold on to it. Not size overly large here, so keep that in mind as well. You don't want to go in full risk, especially when you're buying the top of the range. And I mentioned this yesterday. It's not the ideal market to be playing the tops of the ranges. You want to, if you're range trading, you want to catch the bottom, you want to buy the bottoms and sell the tops, all right? So sitting on top here, looking half decent. If we break, that volume steps in. We know that, what time is the summit starting here today? At 1:30? 1:30 to 5. Okay, so yeah. 1:30 to 5, that's going to be interesting, but I'm pretty sure the first hour and a half is when it's going to bring the most excitement into the markets.
That
here,
absolutely
right?
makes sense. Yeah, you want to get all the announcements quick.
Yeah.
All right, here, guys, this is what we're looking at in terms of small cap gapper trades on the day. Now, as you know, this is a very fluid list up here. It can change. Things can get added. Things can get removed. They can lose their spot. Shout out to Bovin. Shout out to Adara as well, who let me know that PSTV, when we were trading yesterday, was on one, but it is losing it right now. It is actually using VWAP as resistance, is putting in lower lows and lower highs, so I'm not interested in this until it's above VWAP, and then it gets above that pre-market high, which is 258. I will not be trading that unless and until it gets above that pre-market high, which showed you resistance from yesterday. So this right here, this dividing line right there, can you guys see that on the screen? Yeah, you can. So that line right there, that's the separation between 8 p.m. yesterday and 4 a.m. today. And those levels are recycled, despite the fact that we were shut down for several hours. Okay, so this one started moving aggressively in the aftermarket. Now you're wondering, why the hell did this break out in the aftermarket? You want to know why?
Why?
Because there's no halt parameters, volatility halt parameters in the aftermarket, and that's why. That's why these small cap gappers run in the pre-market and run the aftermarket, because the volatility halt parameters is inactive. You still have halt for news and pending news and stuff like that, but volatility halt, no. So if you're into these small cap gappers, a great time to trade them, the pre-market and the aftermarket. But anyway, PSTV in focus. DWTX. It's the #1 gapper right now. My scanner up 51%. It's at VWAP. This is an interesting entry right here. You're going to have to give this room. Look how wide the candles are, okay? The range per candle on DWTX is not great. I'm not going to go so far as to say prohibitive, but it is not great. So that has to be accounted for in your trading strategy, both in your profit takers, your stop losses, and your position size. Think about that. DWTX, a good one. GV was a good one. Neil shutted it out. It's breaking down below VWAP. I'm no longer interested until it gets above that level. We're going to talk about ARBB, not ABMB, ARBB. This one topping tail through $1.12. Started out its life today, sub $1. It's trying to hold on for dear life at VWAP. It's already below $1. So, this one definitely on the lower end of the priority list. Here's one that's interesting. TLSA, not TSLA, TLSA. And I don't know if this is running in sympathy. Is Tesla up? No, it's down. So it's like, I don't know why this is running. I don't see a headline on it, but I kind of don't care. All right. So if it checks out technically, we're going to trade it. If it doesn't, we're going to leave it. It's above VWAP right now, printing at $1.79. The volume weighted average price is $1.75. I also perceive support at $1.70, given this topping tail candle at 9:30. That is the implied balance high into that $1.70. So I like $1.75. I like $1.70. We'll see where the cookie crumbles here. ARRY. Sorry to get a little long-winded, but these are the small cap gappers we're looking at. This one started out its life at 5 1/4, topped out at 6 1/3. It's at VWAP right now, 605, putting in lower highs. Flat bottom at that VWAP area. It doesn't look the best, but we're gonna give this one the old college try. Last but not least, over here, TUYA. Now this one is kind of trying to test that $4 area, 397 high a day. It's holding the 10 exponential for the most part. It does wick below, at times, below the 10 exponential. So my submission to you would be enter at the 10 and place your stop below the 20. It is finding support, wick or otherwise, at most at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. TUYA up 13%. I lied. I said last but not least, I lied. 10.84 BTAI, not BBAI, BTAI. This one is also hanging above $3 at the volume weighted average price. I perceive support right here between 3 to 305, given these topping tail candles in the pre and the fact that VWAP is literally at the whole dollar level at 3. This one looks good. You're probably going to have to size in to make some money on this, though, because you're not getting much of a notional move. Joseph Wilson.
Yeah, here we go, guys. Like Tesla taken behind the woodshed once again here, just getting beaten to a pulp. Guys, down 47%, so it's lost almost half its value off of those all-time highs and just gone back into the range. So if we want to go back, you can see that we're running into some July of 24 levels and, again, chopping around there all of 23. Then we can go back. It's at the levels of 22. Again, man, I don't really know what to say. I thought that this stock was going to be performing significantly better. Everybody knows that Elon's attention is now with Doge, and he's not really hyper-focusing on Tesla. It's like, come on, dude. just get the fleet out in Austin. Start getting these cars rolling out a little bit faster. And yeah, man, seriously, like
I respect that.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like, what is your focus? I know you got so much going on, but I guess he's just used to that lifestyle. Because I know when I get home, if I'm not busy, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to be doing something. But Elon has everything on his SpaceX, Neuralink, Tesla, the tunnels in Vegas. Like I'm missing things here as well too, right? So his 13 children,
See that St. Clair woman? He's got apparently a new kid on the way, baby.
On the way too?
Ashley St. Clair or
well,
something
he's
like
procreation.
That. You didn't know about that, Adara?
Yeah.
Google it, woman. Yeah. There's a whole thing happening. She leaked like the messages and stuff like that. There were screenshots. Adara, it's a whole thing. You're going to do a deep dive. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, man, I get it. You got 13 kids and 20 other companies, but like what company got to where you are right now? Like get the focus. This is unacceptable. I have this I can't even say what's unacceptable, but I have this name in my long-term account, and I'm thinking about just liquidating the whole position. What am I going to sit? Yeah, if I close it now, chances are it's going to bounce, right? Because that's just how things go. But I got to be patient within this name. I should have been out way at 375, but I'm like, it's the long term here. But now I've lost over half of the unrealized gains that I had because I grabbed this earlier in 24, like right at the beginning of 24. But it's like, okay, Joe, you're getting right back to your average. Like I have a $200 average. I'm $50 away from that, giving up over $200 of unrealized. And it's like, okay, yeah, enough is enough, right? At some point, I understand the HODL concept, but then you also have to be an account manager at the exact same time, right? Like, why are you going to give up unrealized when the stock is in a complete free fall? So just keep that in mind. That's my 2 cents on Tesla. I know it's a mixed bag in the chat about how they feel about them, so we'll just continue to look at that. But here we go, guys. We got out of IBIT. We broke that range. You can see that we are forming just this downward trend here, and then now we just broke through the support level. We'll look for a bounce and a signal that tells us, hey, we're ready to turn around again, but we got to be patient. Come 1:30, I think that you're going to see some more volatility step in. You can see that this market at any news headline, it's going to bounce, like whether it be regarding Trump or Putin or what's going on in some war, you're going to get those volatility spikes, and then they're just going to fade right off. So just be prepared for that. Jag in the chat said, hey, Joe, thanks for the advice on widening the stops, and that's what you got to do in these markets. If we were to look at the VIX, it's probably spiked again today. It cooled off in the beginning, in the first half hour, or the hour, or whatever it may be, but now picking right back up. So,
Joseph, I don't like anything here, dude.
Yeah, no, there's nothing really.
We're going to take off PSTV. We're going to put on LTRY. Look, I'm grasping at straws here, guys. I really hate, being in positions that I don't have a lot of conviction behind. But the fact of the matter is, yesterday was a very choppy day for these small cap gappers. Some of them had decent percentage moves under their belt, but there was very, very little follow through with all of them. I saw the follow through after on PSTV in the aftermarket, but midday or at least during regular market hours, I was none too plus. So we're going to continue watching. LTRY is breaking out above. It's above $1. It started itself above $1 today with the 102 low. It's looking real good here, though. This is lottery.com, very directional. Before we send it to Adara, I want to warn you guys that we're still sub 1 million in terms of shares, 745,000 traded on the day, Adara.
If you're looking at the economic calendar today and you're thinking, wow, I feel really overwhelmed, there's so much going on, I understand. So I actually created a master post here at X at TTV Research. This is all the events that haven't happened yet. It is worth noting, President Donald Trump has not taken the podium yet. I have been waiting 25 minutes, and it's just a lot of chat here on this chat. We're waiting for this on Fox News, so this has not yet commenced. But here we also have Fed Kugler speaking twice in 1 hour. Then we'll get Fed Chair Powell speaking at this forum at 12:30 p.m. So 1:30 p.m., I'm seeing the White House Crypto Summit set to begin. Some other sources are saying 3 p.m., but that also might be because Trump is going to be speaking at the Crypto Summit at 3 p.m. So Donald Trump delivering remarks. He's also signing executive orders half an hour before that. So busy day for the Fed, busy day for Trump. If you want to look at this post, go on X at TTV Research. The whole thing will be there for you. I'm also seeing here some chatter that apparently the S&P 500 rebalancing is coming out tonight. So we will find out which stocks will be added and removed from the index. This usually comes out a little bit after the close. So stay tuned. And I will be glued to this desk this entire afternoon to give you guys all of the news and the who's who and what's what of this market. Back to you.
You heard it from her mouth. She's going to be here all day, glued to the desk. ready to drop some hot news, guys. So let's see if we can get a potential bounce here in IBIT. That's going to be the game plan. If I show you my notes, I had 2 stocks in play today, and that was IBIT and Broadcom, just due to the solid report that they had yesterday evening. And then now with the crypto summit coming up around 1:30 here, but just continuing to bleed. We were positive on the session, now continuing to the south side with momentum. You can see that volume really start to pick up. I was looking at this candle right here to say, hey, are we going to bounce? And we didn't get that bounce, so that stopping volume just blown all the way through there, guys. So really, really tough look. Joe W, that Amazon daily print getting slaughtered. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that later, Gorev. I'm glad I'm not anything. I'm glad that I'm liquid in the swing account, to be honest with you, because I think there's going to be some more downside here. I was just telling Sharif, be prepared for that 12 to 15% correction here in the S&P and in the Nas, guys. So we're starting to knock on the door of that. We are now south of or north of 10% to the downside. Almost 11% there, guys. So as soon as we hit 478, we're going to be north of 12 as well, too. So it's a tough look here in the market, guys. And what did I say 15% was? Roughly around that 460 level. We do have high levels of open interest at 480 in the queues, so keep an eye out for that. Are we going to get a bounce? It's nothing outstandish, and it's during this expiration cycle as well, so keep an eye out for that 480. Sorry, I said 460, 480 level there on the queues. Nice engulfing candle right here. That volume really starting to pick up. We have a couple hours until that summit starts. This might just send this thing parabolic or just absolutely to the downside, so be prepared for that. It's best to be, I guess, liquid at that standpoint, just in case you're on the wrong side of the volatility spike when it does happen, and hopefully it does, because that'll set up more trade opportunities for us, and we like that from an intraday perspective. But Sharif, Apple going right back to being strong. You can see that the market was bleeding. Yeah, okay, well, all right, sorry, Timmy, don't. Timmy, don't listen. Please don't listen to what I have to say here. But here we go. About a half an hour, 40 minutes of just straight to the top side, no pullback. Holding VWAP extremely well. You see that elastic effect in the indicator here. Then we sit on top and then climb higher as the rest of the market continues to bleed. Apple holding up relatively strong, finding those loopholes with the iPhone there.
Yeah, man, we'll have to see why. It's like a different story every day. We get a bad headline with apparently the Qualcomm modem being better than theirs, and then the next day we hear about their foldable or upcoming foldable iPhone, as well as some proprietary modem chip that they're building in-house that's better than Qualcomm's. It's a wild ride, so just be ready for it. We're involved in a couple of names right now. TSLA, guys, TLSA, not Tesla, okay? And you can probably see by the price, obviously Tesla ain't trading at $1.75. So I'm involved in BTOG over here at 69 pennies, wet the beak all the way up to 70 or 72. We're layering the orders on this monster. Let's see if we can clear that 72 pennies. That's been a bit of an elusive target with the high of the day, essentially 74, about 73.93 pennies there. We'll keep an eye out on that. LTRY is going to halt to the downside, but it is at a very interesting area over here. So I'm crazy, so I'm punching long. We're going to take it. Oh, I got slippage on that bad boy. I wanted 16s. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and throw out the order there below 13. So we're going to go just like that. Let me see where my size is there for LTRY. Yeah, we're good to go. Everything's fine there. We're going to go like that. And then we'll throw out an order for a beak wetter at 20, and then we'll go riding on 22s. I like 22s, but Joseph, I got to tell you, that riding on 22s in Toronto, not a good idea. No. It's an obstacle course for took the words out of my mouth.
Potholes, man.
Took the words out of my mouth. It's very bad riding on 22s in Toronto. Olivia Chow doesn't care.
No.
She's like, look, you want to ride on 22s? Here's what you're going to have to do.
I've seen that video.
Just like
bang.
Right? So that's
we can't be using those low profiles.
No, and you gotta have low profiles on 22s. You can't have big wheels.
Switch it up, man.
It don't work. Olivia Chow, by the way, guys, is the mayor of Toronto, so we're just having a little poke at her in good fun.
Clean those sidewalks, Sharif, man, guy.
Yeah, they didn't get clean for a while there.
Yeah, Joseph, but now they just all melted now, so
exactly.
they got the work done.
She got it for free.
So, yeah.
She got it all for free there.
We paid for it. We paid for it probably at that point. So.
Shout out to my man Nimit. I'm in BBAI and just got bored holding. Brother, I've been there. Can you review so I can decide what to do next? Thank you. Absolutely, Nimit. You're a chat OG. You always get said requests. I'm just going to throw out, I just want to keep an eye out on this bad boy over here because this one is the one that's a little bit more volatile. Let's see, did we get the print there? We got the print on LTRY, so I took the dip trade there. These. Okay. So let's have a look at BBAI. We saw the Katina man involved in this one earlier on. Yeah, so it's been a little while here for Big Bear, at least, since the start of the week. It's been down and to the right with really nothing catching the bid. Let's go to the 30. Okay, wow, we're below local lows, Joseph. This is not what you want to see. Let's have a look at the daily here. Where's this? Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, we're at the 200 moving average. I don't know, Nimit, you're holding this intraday or what the situation is, but you could tell it was respectful of the 50, and then it gave up the 50. Now it's holding at the 200. Today's the first day we actually touched the 200 EMA, so we'll have to see if we catch a bid. Intraday, though, Nimit, I don't know if you're long or short. This is not a glowing endorsement for a long. I'm sure you already know that. The white line is the volume weighted average price. Every single time it tries or attempts to breach VWAP, it can wick up there, but then it's met with aggressive selling and down below VWAP it goes. It's putting in lower lows, area trough, and lower highs. Again, I always say this, you don't need to be a chartered market technician to see the lower lows and lower highs. That's what you're seeing here. I don't know how you feel about this Nimit, but if you're holding it from the lows, I would be attempting to get out at VWAP or maybe a skosh above VWAP because it's shown its propensity to reject VWAP on the day. We're talking about Big Bear AI, guys. Sorry to throw in the ticker, BBAI. Adira, they reported, right?
Yes, they
did. Yes, thank you. Not well received. Thank you, Adira. I'm assuming that's what this drop was. The algo spiked to the high side to get everybody in, and then down we go and down we stay. So BBAI, not for me, Nimit, but let me know how you trade it, my man. It's not one that I'm going to do the dance with today. We are going to go to Adira at the big desk.
Thank you, Sharif. So I want to prepare everyone for all the events today. Here is my Crypto Summit graphic. Think of it as little trading cards for who's going to be at the event today. So on the top row here, we have everyone who's involved with a publicly traded crypto company. That's going to be Brian Armstrong, or as Sharif called him, the shiny one here, CEO of Coinbase. We have Michael Saylor, the chairman, actually not CEO, but chairman of Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. We have Fred Thiel, a relative of Peter Thiel here, and the CEO of Marathon Digital, and Vlad Tenev, CEO of Robinhood Markets. On the bottom row here, these are some other high-profile names, but they're not involved with publicly traded companies. That includes the CEO of Polymarket, the co-founders of Gemini, the Winklevoss twins. We've got Arjun Sethi of Kraken. We have Zach Witkoff of Trump-associated World Liberty Financial, and we have Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. This bottom row is going to be a whole other list of names and companies of people involved. So check this out on X at TTV Research if you want a primer on who to expect at the Crypto Summit. There's a whole other list of people who might be attending. I might make an infographic on that if I have time, but this one, these are all definitely confirmed as far as I have read. Also, more crypto content. Here's a year-to-date performance for a whole bunch of crypto stocks. Actually, only Robinhood and Strategy are up on the year, so check this out again on X at TTV Research. More crypto content to come today, given all of the hubbub and hullabaloo around the summit. Guys, back to you.
Thank you.
I'm in this for the hullabaloo, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Meta is, okay. Shout out to Mark Susi. Thank you for pointing that out. When I talked to Joseph about Meta, it was at 611. It's now at 606. Dude, we might lose 600. I'm going to bring it in. I'm sorry, guys. We might lose 600 today on Meta. Guys, we were at 740 or whatever the hell on Meta. I don't know, like a period of a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It feels like forever, Joseph, that we were talking about that 20-day uninterrupted winning streak.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, literally, we have given it up and then some, dude. Yeah. That 640 support level that we were talking about before, what 640 support level? We've given up that entire breakout to the high side. Okay, so we're below the 50, of which we've been very respectful on Meta for months and months. The 50 was a good support level. That's gone, man. We are looking at that 575, 580. That is the 200, and the 200 does have respect from Meta. You can see it over here, you can see it over here, but that was the last time we actually dipped into the 200 back in August. And I know we had a bit of a gnarly sell-off mid-July to about mid to late August. And then we kind of went up into the right after that. So Meta giving up a lot. Where are we off the top here? So let's take it from that 740 pop, and we'll take it to that 605 drop. Yeah, light 18.25%. And I don't say that jokingly. You know, I know a lot of people are holding Meta in their personal, of course, the Meg 7 name. But I'm mentioning this because I'm just surprised. I did not think that Meta would be pulling back like that. The dude, all he does is print more money, right? All we hear is digital ad sales are going through the roof, this, that, and the other. Anyway, Adara's got more information.
We do have some more information here on UAL. This one actually bouncing nicely here off the lows as of right now. We are seeing a report here. I guess not even a report. The company themselves announced they have just officially added SpaceX-owned Starlink Wi-Fi to their first plane. The rest of the fleet is going to follow. So we have UAL announcing they've started rolling out this Starlink Wi-Fi on all of their flights. Again, plans to put them on all the fleets. Right now, just equipped the first plane in their lineup, guys. So keep an eye on UAL, bouncing pretty nicely. Back to you.
Yeah, you know what, guys? It's just, yeah, this is looking like a free fall Friday at this point here, Sharif. Continuing to move lower and lower. The thing is, though, risk profile here relatively tight. So if we crack here, which is looking like we're going to, we opened up below this range, and then now heading to the south side, there's going to be no bounce as of right now in this in IBIT. So got to avoid that. Apple running into the volume weighted average price as well too. So watch for that to start bleeding. But here we go. We're going to pop right out of this trade here, guys, because we don't want to hold on to it as it cracks through these key support levels, because the market just continuing to bleed. Can't cover that wound there, Sharif. And this is what I was referring to, and I've mentioned it time and time again, is that, hey, like, we're going to continue this, right? So we went on this monster 2-year run, right? We want to go back how far? Nice consolidation phase. Let's see what this pullback is here, Sharif. That is heavy. God. Yeah. So that's a 36% retracement right there in 22-23. So again, we're not quite there, but that trajectory is not good. As you can see, it's just straight to the downside. And these pullbacks, you don't see buyers really stepping in where you would kind of just get, okay, yeah, a nice lower high or whatever it may be, but we're just continuing sell. So now you have to look for the next support level, which is what I have around marked out right here around 478.32. And then if we break through that, then you got to look at the next pivots as well too. So yeah, not a good look here in the market, guys, but we got whoa.
Yeah, that's big.
That is big cash. I'm going to throw this one up there. The JP there, $150 super chat from On the Blockchain. That is insane. Thank you, my friend, for that one. Yeah, exactly. We're going to Donald dance to that one. Let's see what it says here. Sharif, Joe, watching Neil and Sean every morning, Sharif and Joe every afternoon with Obi and Adara worked in throughout the days really is the perfect mix. Great community. Even if I'm not trading, I am here learning and listening every day. Get it, fam.
He said, get it?
He said, get it, fam. Get it. So I propose that with this super chat, we buy $150 worth of roll up the rims here, and then see.
This guy's going pure degen right now.
And see what happens. There we go. A bunch of coffee and roll up the rims, my guy.
I can get behind that.
Thank you for that super chat. That is
Thank you very
phenomenal.
much On the Blockchain. Yes. Really do appreciate you. I'm sure you're going to be with Adara, Joseph, and I today, at least from 1:30 onwards, because it sounds like you're into crypto there with that name On the Blockchain, and I'm sure you know exactly what's happening today. The Orange Man is holding a big conference out in Washington there, and it's all going to be at the White House. That is a gala or whatever they're calling it. It's going to be about crypto, mostly, crypto, and then we're going to hear about the special treatment that Bitcoin apparently is getting under the new administration. So we're going to pack our patience and find out what has to be said about that. Can't wait. David Sachs, the AI and crypto czar, are going to be there as well, leading the charge with Donald Trump. So very excited about that. Very excited to hear what they have to say. We'll talk a little bit about this since we brought up the topic. It was kind of, a nothing burger last night. We got the EO, the executive order, and then in it was very specifically said no new taxpayer dollars would be used to acquire more Bitcoin for the strategic reserve, which had a lot of people guessing, do we get that upward momentum that we'd all been positing would happen if a strategic crypto reserve was set up? And then you it sold off. I think we dipped down to 84 because the market felt very bearish about that. But when we came in this morning and did a little bit of analyzing, a little bit of talking, a little bit of, as Adara says, deep diving, found out that there could be budget neutral methods, and I do the air quotes there on purpose, to actually allocate new Bitcoin, not just redirect or reallocate previously seized Bitcoin. What the hell does that mean? What am I talking about budget neutral? Well, we know that the government is disposing of what they perceive to be unused assets, i.e. real estate, buildings that they have. I can give an example for my sister's area in Orange County. There's a huge federal government building that serves no other purpose but to allow the neighborhood kids to have pickup games of basketball. It's huge and it's always empty, okay? And so they're gonna be selling off assets like that. So that wouldn't be newer money coming in or, generated, or that would have to go through Congress. They would be selling assets and then maybe buying Bitcoin. We'll have to wait and see. Can't wait for the announcements. Adara, what's up?
Keep an eye here on NVIDIA. I mean, the whole market's weak, but I thought this was pretty interesting. Just saw a note here on X. Apparently, NVIDIA has now dropped $1 trillion in market cap from its record high. So unfortunately, just a lot more signs of weakness in this market as it continues to bleed lower. Also, an update here. Donald Trump, who is set to speak at 11 a.m., 40 minutes ago, has not yet taken the podium. And this does not appear to be an issue with the streamer. I'm using Fox News to watch this online, but I'm also not seeing any comments of his on X either. So it really does not seem like he has taken the podium as of yet. Of course, if I have any updates on this, I will let you know promptly. And just to recap or to clarify, the White House did not give us a theme for this talk. So unaware what it is he will be discussing, guys. Back to you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, thank you for that, Adara. Here we go, guys. We're short some Apple, looking like it might break some support. Give this one a little bit more room because we are selling the bottom of the range. We're going to look for the support level to break, and then the next target's going to be around that 360.90 level, 236.90, sorry, guys, and then continuing lower. The market is still bleeding, looking for this name to start to participate at some point. It's strong, right? And you don't necessarily always want to be shorting strong stocks, but as we run into some key levels, the volume-weighted average price, and with the market really weak, that's why I'm going to take this name to the downside. So we won't hold on to it overly long. We'll give it about, 50, 60 cents or so. And if it comes back, then we'll be able to sell the top of the range and then look for it to go a little bit lower. But you can see the volatility in it really there, guys, very clear. So you got to widen those stops, size down a little bit, and then look for those moves to take a little bit longer. If it does want to retest this high and can't crack 239, then we'll just get out of that trade and then look to get right back in it. So that is on AAPL, guys. If we break this bottom, then I think there's going to be some more downside. And with how heavily weighted Apple is, then that's going to drag the market down even lower and lower, guys. So those shorts are very much alive and in play and look to continue to do so. We'll take a look at the SPY as it continues to bleed here, guys. So a nice liquidity grab above the volume-weighted average price. But you got to take into account here, guys, that we have been trading below VWAP all throughout the pre-market session. Then you get that elastic effect with VWAP and then heading to the south side. We don't even have a pullback right here. If this starts to drag Apple lower, and it breaks that support level, this market can continue to bleed. And then that's when we can hit that 12 to even 12.5% down from those highs in the S&P here, Sharif. So not too pretty. Let's take a look at the top volume stocks. Vanier with the W on the quickest one on the trigger yesterday. Ooh. So guys, put it in the chat. I haven't even looked myself. What is the top performing, what stock has the most volume this today in this session? Put it in the chat and we'll see who wins this one because it was Vanier last week or yesterday, and let's see who's going to win it today. Wouldn't be surprised if it's the same individual. But Jimmy Donnelly, Joe, let people know if they are hurting Verizon. Still has upward to go. If they don't, what to do? Get out of the stock. Okay, I'm really read this morning. Let's take a look at VZ before I send it back to Sharif. Yeah, this thing is continuing to climb higher again. Wow, what a back-to-back amazing session here in Verizon. I wonder what the news is, because look at this trend from yesterday. Doesn't even pull back, Sharif. And then look at the 5-minute opening drive here in Verizon Communications, continuing to climb higher and higher, not even looking back. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily standpoint. And yeah, breaking through this high here, there's a key pivot in Verizon, but you can see these two massive engulfing sessions right here, guys. That is positive, and that is an in-play stock. So attaboy Jimmy Donnelly finally sticking to those names that have been working, and it seems to be paying off for him, Sharif.
Yeah, I have no idea, dude. I'm getting some press release. Fitch affirms outstanding notes on 9 Verizon Master Trust transactions. Sure. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing. There's also this. I'm just getting a lot of price spike alerts as well, so that would make sense. Verizon to speak at Deutsche Bank conference March 11th. That's hardly a reason for something to move like that. So interesting. I have no idea. Maybe Adara will let us know if she sees anything on VZ. But yeah, it's a hell of a looking, good looking move there.
Real good looking chart there. So
all right, involved in 4 names. Wow. Okay, 4 names at the moment. BTOG is the only one that's really not, complying at the moment. We're long 64 pennies. We're zigging and zagging with 61. It's holding a general area of previous resistance. I'm talking about 56, 57 pennies in and around this area. So I did DCA aggressively at that level, and I have my stop below 54 pennies. So it's going to have to hold. Otherwise, we're gonzino. Other ones we're doing are Ds. Okay, TLSA. We've taken out 3/5 of this position. This is not going to be a big winner, but that's okay. This one we're doing as well, doing decent as well. LTRY looking very bull flaggish. It's above the volume weighted average price, above the 10 exponential. But what's happening right now is the volume is really drying up. We can't move up without volume. So this one, we've already taken a couple of beak wetters there. We're still waiting at 124 for another one if we get it. Now this one we're doing okay on. TUYA. Shout out to Tua Tagovailoa, but we're waiting for now at 86s. It's showing me 86s on the ask. We're not getting printed, but Adara does have stuff on Verizon.
I have some Verizon stuff too. I just also saw a smaller cap name move for Sharif, so I'll mention that at the end here. But VZ, I'll pull this up here. I just checked on Vinzinga, and it's not like there's one story that's been happening on VZ. This company has been doing press releases or some kind of an announcement pretty much every day this week. So it just seems like it's really been in traders' brain and in their minds. Starting on Monday here, they announced a partnership with Accenture. On Tuesday, the CFO talks at a Morgan Stanley press conference. On Wednesday, they announced a partnership with Singtel and Skylo. So now they have a Singapore conference. On Thursday, there actually wasn't any conference or announcement, but today they announced they're going to be speaking at a Deutsche Bank conference. So just basically, Verizon has really been inundating us with headlines this whole week. That could be part of the reason for the move. None of these seem to explain the move itself, especially because these comments from the CFO on Tuesday were really not positive, but regardless, pushing to the upside. Let's also talk about a small cap here, Sharif. We have VCIG. This one pushed up higher, gave up some of the move, but they do have a catalyst that came out at 11:22 a.m. VCI Global announcing that they have completed their SegTech Global's IPO, which earned them $5.7 million in advisory revenue. So apparently some advisory role here in an IPO for VCI Global, 1.4 million share float, 4.5% short float, $20 million market cap. Back to the small cap individual and Joe over there, guys. Bash Brothers, back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. VCIG was a good looker, Adara, but it broke down below VWAP, that little punk. So we won't be able to trade it. What a punk. I agree with that, Adara. All right, we're still in BTOG over here, waiting for that first print at 65s, layering at 66. It's having all sorts of trouble with 64. Let's see if this can squeeze. It's above 64 now. Go BTOG, you little punk. Here we go, waiting at 65s. Did we get the print? No. The answer to that is no. We did not get the print. We're 64 3/4. Why do I do this to myself every time? Don't trade sub $1 stocks, Sharif. They're harder to trade, Sharif, because they have so many levels that you got to take out. So I'm just going to let this one cook. We get the print, we get the print. We don't, we don't. Let's look at silver for my man there in the chat. His name is SBP Trader. Shout out to him. All right, we got the print at 65s, but it's still not really doing much, Joseph. So we're gonna have to pack our patience
be a little patient
on this one. SI. So we're gonna look at the futures contract for you, okay? But usually that does kind of jive with whatever you're looking at, whether it's a company related that deals with the asset or. Which contract should we use here? Which one has volume? We're going to use the continuous contract because I'm not sure which contract to use. So let's go wide. Let's look at silver from a wider time frame. I hate that. Like, I mean, look how consolidative that is. It's not looking like gold at all. So it's a bit of a consolidative look. You have a bit of a range, so you've got some outsized areas. But in my opinion, the range is between $34. This is the futures contract, okay? Between $34 to the high side and essentially give or take 30. You have some outlying areas, but for the most part, you're defending that 30. So it looks like you're in a bit of a range here, 34 or 35 to the high side, 30 or 29 to the low side. However, you are still putting in higher lows. So it's not like you have to base all your trades off this lower trend line. The trend line is to show you that the lows are incrementally higher. You're not getting necessarily those higher highs quite yet. But when you have that area low, higher lows, with that kind of flattish top, you could get a resolution to the high side. I'm surprised we really haven't seen this one kind of move a little in tandem with gold or more in tandem with gold. It looks like we have been kind of stuck in that range. So silver, not bad. Let's look intraday. Is there anything to be said here intraday? Down and to the right. So we've got definitely a downward trend. We attempted here, it looks like, at around 10 o'clock or so to retake the highs, but we're still negatory on the day. To go green, we got to get above 33 and a third. So let me know how that goes, my man. Not something I typically do is chart gold or, these other commodities, but hey, you asked kindly, and I'll oblige. So right now, back to BTOG over here. So we got the print at 65. We just had another attempt at 65. Another attempt was rejected, so we couldn't clear 65. What does that mean to me? Well, that means there's somebody of note with a big boy count or big boy shares pushing this monster down at 65 pennies. So much so we haven't even been able to print anything above that exact 65 penny area. So let's see what happens. We technically still have a lower high over here with the high being 70, almost 74 pennies, but we did defend this area support, previous support at around 57, 58 pennies, which is where I punched long the majority of the position. We're long 63, so we're technically in the money, but this isn't why I got long the stock. Obviously, we're looking for a bit of a move to the high side. We'll see what comes of this. LTRY, lottery.com, still putting in higher lows, but definitely somebody selling up a storm or has been for the last 20 minutes at that $1.21. So let's see if we can take that person out. TUYA, we got one quick print there, but this is going to have to hold a VWAP. This is a VWAP retracement trade. It makes that 397 attempt at 4, dips back down into that 380 area, which was VWAP, which precipitated me into the trade. If it loses VWAP, I'm out. That's why I got in, and that's why I will get out. Last but not least here, TLSA. We don't have much left on this one. Looking for a move above that $1.83, Joseph. We've been rejecting that area for about, half an hour or so.
Yeah, good luck there, my guy. So yeah, just continuing to bleed here. I tried to pop into the TQs. We had some potential bottoming signals, just not coming into play. Just continuing the leak here, guys. So just be aware of that and try not to force the longs if they're not there. All right, guys. So keep that in mind. You want to follow the trend. You don't necessarily want to fight it, especially when the current market environment isn't overly positive. But what we do like here is Apple. See, the thing is, though, you can see it's moving polar opposite to the broader market, but one thing that is highly correlated here, guys, is the Qs and NVDA, identical type price action, so keep that in mind here, folks. Apple's still holding up relatively strong, so eventually one party is going to lose, whether it be the Bears or the Bulls, and then you're going to see that probably a nice clean path to whatever direction it decides it wants to trade in. So yeah, you can just see the heavy correlation between those two assets there, guys. Not looking overly pretty. Meta continuing to bleed as well too, Sharif. So the leaders being the leaders, Sharif, whether it be to the downside or to the top side. So the Mag 7 with some hefty pullbacks here, guys. Not looking pretty for the broader market. These tariffs looming, what they can do for margins, etc. That's why a lot of these names and companies with ad spend, so that's why maybe Meta may be getting walloped a little bit too here. Companies not spending as much in ad spend. So we'll take that into consideration, guys, because what else can you say? And one thing that I found interesting as well too, Sharif, is that NVIDIA getting beat up as well because of how many different companies are trying to start to make their own chips. So very curious on that, right? So that can hurt some NVDA in multiple ways, right? So just take that into consideration and wait for this bleeding to stop. I'm not going to try to buy these dips anymore. I'm just going to look to follow the overall trend here, Sharif.
So I had to take out more there on BTOG at 65 because it keeps rejecting 65. Now, this time it was able to kind of bamboozle me a little bit in the sense that it moved up above 65 by a little bit, but still that selling in the 65 penny zone still very heavy and still heavy enough to keep all this long volume, all this bid volume still below that 65 penny area. So sometimes, you know, when you have this kind of aggressive buying and a big seller there, the seller gets exhausted, or a bigger buyer that can out kind of duel the big seller. Look at this, 65 rejecting over and over. Look at this level too, it's fantastic. Live look here at how we keep rejecting this area. So we'll see if a bigger buyer, if the market at large can push out this seller out of the way. We're still waiting at 66s, but I did de-risk a little bit up here, just to kind of account, you know, for anything that could happen. We're going to layer now orders at 68. Let's go like that. And then we're going to layer some more orders at 69. You know, if we're in the 60s, I'm going to be waiting at 69, bro. Come on, no. We're going to layer these orders over here, see if we can get something in and around that area. So let's go like this, and then let's go 0.7. There we go. So we got that bad boy on there. Good luck. Okay, TSLA is coming down into a precarious area. Let's have a look. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, so now it's back down into my area, Joseph. Actually, I'm 1 penny out of the money. No, I'm flat on it right now. I did have a dip trade set up on this monster on at around 70.5. That's no longer valid. That was for price action support. I do see a topping tail candle, the implied balance high, right at 930 at $1.69. So that's why I tried to front run it with this possible dip trade here. I don't like that. The volume's dropping off. I'm going to move up my stop if this one breaks down to Dara. What's going on up there?
What's going on right there is SoFi being on watch here. I'm seeing some reports that Trump, the executive order he's going to be signing at 2:30 p.m. Apparently it's going to be about student loans. So keep an eye on SOFI here. Something to be aware of. Also, Donald Trump has not yet stepped onto the podium. I'll let you know when he does. Then Chair Powell is going to be on the podium here in about half an hour as well. So lots to keep an eye on this afternoon, that is for sure. Back to you.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, JP, guys. There he is, man. Powell. All right, guys, here we go. We're grabbing the bottoms here again in the TQs. Can we get this bounce? We do have multiple bottoming signals across the board here on some of these big names. And if we can get that bounce in Meta and NVDA, then I think we might be able to sustain this. I don't know what target we're going to look for, but we would like this support system here now that can act as prior resistance. And then if you want to take another leg down, then that's fine with me. But yeah, let's go over what we got going on. 160 million shares. With NVDA traded on the session, SOXL 63.7 million, TQ 63.7, and then Tesla in that fifth spot with 50.5 million shares traded on the day, guys. So yeah, a lot of it to the downside. Apple's still holding up relatively strong. Q's looking to get a little bounce here. Let's see what everybody's looking at in the chat. We'll go over a couple of things for you. I want to see what okay, so yeah, there we go. So I was mentioning earlier 480 high levels of open interest on the options chain regarding the Qs, and now we're bouncing off of that, all right? So right almost 480 to the penny there. 480.47 was the low for right now, but then we have 10,000 open contracts sitting at that strike price, guys. So take that into consideration. Is this going to act as support, and do we get a potential bounce? It's looking like it right now. So as long as that holds up, if there's a large enough participant to step in and then grab that liquidity, then maybe we might head to the south side. But right now, a solid support level right there at 480 on the Qs. You're fist pumping, my guy. What do you got cooking up?
Finally, Joseph. There we go. I'm really happy with this trade. I packed my patience, and now we're nicely in the money on this one. And I took like way more shares than I typically take with this. And I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know why, but we're going to keep doing it until we get in trouble. So here we go. Into 75 pennies. Where are we long, boy? We're long 59. Okay. We're going to take out a little bit more there. We got some, yeah, we don't want to take out too much now. Now let this one cook. BTOG, baby. Up 165%. Here we go. We're having a good time today. It's Friday.
Gym time after?
Hey, I sessioned properly this morning. So that's why my body was so tired. I was complaining to Neil when I got in. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
How long was that? How long was your morning session?
Goblet squats with the kettlebell, the 45-pound kettlebell that I told you I had from COVID. Goblet squats into single hand kettlebell deads. So one side, I use the bed as kind of like I lean on it, then I flip to the other side, and then into sit-ups. No rest, cycling through exactly half an hour. Just that for half an hour. Yeah, 5 a.m. to 5:30. Then I get my protein shake. We sit down, we read the Bible for a little bit. We shower, we do our thing, and then we move on with that.
Who are you? Are you Shay SGA over there? His life is just non-stop consistency. If you want to be like Sharif, you best get consistent. If you're not up at 5 a.m. reading the Bible after as well too, then you can't even hang in the same court as this guy. So be weary of that, man.
Neil's trolling me right now, but it's okay.
Hey, Neil, hey, man, it's tough to beat those guys. It's tough to beat those.
Ozan says Trump is talking right now. We don't got him
let's
on.
Go.
He's not on Fox News. CNBC's, we got to tell Randy to move that bad boy. Adair, let me know if anything's going on up there. Apparently, Donald Trump's talking. Shout out to Ozan. Thanks for calling that out, my man. I appreciate you guys there in the chat. I really do appreciate it. Okay, but you know, Adair, how he can throw curveballs, right? So, yeah. It's not market related right now. Adair's on it. He's not speaking about the market. If anything changes, we're going to obviously keep you guys apprised of that. We got Donald on full alert.
Oh my God!
Apple's breaking up.
Apple's going nuts. That's why you don't want to short strong stocks, guys. And that's what you got to learn. I got out of this as soon as you see this engulfing candle right here. You got to get out of Dodge and then look to see what's going on. We are heading to the top of that range. The Qs are starting to pull back as well, guys. We're in that about 40 pennies in the money. That volatility is in the market. Let's see if we can sustain this. We need a little bit larger of a move here, guys. Let's see what Donald has to say. He's talking. Now you can see that spike in the price action here. Let's see what Adair is up to. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not ready for Adair. Okay.
Yeah, just be aware here. The one comment I am seeing come from Donald Trump, he's talking a lot about employment. Of course, we did get non-farm payrolls today, and he said, quote, we will shrink the government and grow the private sector. So private sector growth could potentially be in watch here. He also talked about vehicles, so keep an eye on GM, Tesla, Stellantis, saying, quote, I want auto parts to be built and made in the U.S. He's said that, and even these comments were echoed by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt a couple days ago. Donald Trump really with these tariffs is trying to get these companies, specifically in the auto sector, to build and produce locally, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adair. Yeah, because the reason we always say this, Joseph, is because he may do a press conference on a completely innocuous topic that has nothing to do with the market, and then a reporter will throw a curveball at him. Hey, Donald,
what do you think about what's going on with the
and then he starts chiming in, and then everything starts moving, and we have no idea why. So that's why we got the full not 24 hour, but you know what I mean. 8:30 to 9 to 4:30. We're going to be
a full day of Donald.
All day, every day.
Yeah, all day, every day. Yeah, guys. Okay, so we're continuing to climb here in the Qs. Nice bounce, multiple bottoming signals. Got out on the liquidity grab, identical to that IBIT trade. This is why you get out and then have those opportunities to get back in at better prices, guys. I'll always just wax that poetically, as my guy Sharif likes to say, and hone in on those things because I think it's really important, and that's just managing risk. Okay, so climbing higher. 64.40 is going to be our target. Let's see what we got cooking up on the higher time frames, the 5-minute, and that's exactly what I want to run into here. I want to run into this prior support level, climb higher, and then now can act as resistance if it wants to curl over. But if it wants to squeeze back to 65.50, which would put us right at the volume weighted average price, I'll be happy with that as well too, guys. So nice getting out, nice getting right back in here on the TQ, Sharif.
Nice trade, Joseph.
Thanks, brother.
Good call, brother. Good call.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're still involved here in BTOG. We still got a couple of beak wetters. For the moment, the best print I have is 74s, but there is a lot of downward pressure at the 75 penny area. So 75 pennies to the T on this 4 decimal place stock. So it could be anything 75.15, but you get it. Literally 75 pennies to the T is the high of the day. It's a skosh above that previous high. So we did technically make another high. I'm going to be very interested, though, guys, in all truthfulness, to add a 60 penny. So I'm long 59 right now. If it does come back into 60, which would technically be a higher low than the 58 that we dipped into last time, I will likely add into this position. We shall see exactly what the situation is. Just looking at the TV, guys, make sure that there's no Trump stuff over there. So yeah, BTOG was the one I really focused on. It's the one that had the many more incrementally more shares than I had with any other one. So we're going to continue to watch this one. TLSA, it's breaking down now. We're long 76. It's showing me 79s. It's not the trade that I thought. It's an umpteen amount of lower highs with a possible flat bottom break. I'm more concerned about TLSA than I am with the others. Let me make my case why. Okay? I know, right? I do that to you all the time, so it's like, I get it. No, but seriously though, we're putting in incrementally lower highs, each successive area or each successive candle lower than its predecessor. All the while, we're holding that flat bottom. Look at that, bouncing off VWAP. Now, you could say, Sharif, well, it's defending VWAP. You know, there's a buyer there. Why are you going to get out? Don't be the weak hand. I get all that. But I've seen this story before where we have a descending wedge and the volume doesn't support the move up, so we end up getting a flat bottom break as the shorts will want to snipe this bad boy. So I'm not going to get out now. What I'm going to do is move up my stop from 70 pennies. I'm going to keep a super tight stop at around 73, 74. The reason is it's already shown me its propensity to bounce off 75. So if 75 gives way, it's either a specialist breakdown, which I don't want to be a part of, or it's actually a flat bottom break. That's what I see it as. Now, it could turn into something different, obviously. I'm not Nostradamus. So we're going to definitely move up the stop there to account for this lower high situation. Now, lottery.com has a seller of note, and I won't be convinced otherwise, at $1.22. There's a big boy seller who's preventing this stock from ascending above that 22 penny area. That's the bad news. The good news is we have umpteen amount of higher lows. So in the way that I was just talking about TLSA as a flat bottom break, I perceive LTRY to be a flat top break. Sadly, I don't have the animation for that, so you'll have to imagine in your head. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm more optimistic about LTRY than I am about the other one because it's putting in higher lows with that flat top. Let's see if we can get that big boy break. Last but not least, TUYA, where we long there. We're long 82s. It's showing me 85s. It is defending VWAP, and it did defend VWAP for a period of, for a while. 1125 to currently, till 1205. So it's been respectful of the volume weighted average price. The problem with this one is it's also putting in lower highs, and now it's straddling the 10 exponential moving average from the south side, not the north side. So I'm worried that this also has an opportunity to break. Let's see if this one can curl back up. I'm going to layer my orders in the 90, 95s for the ultimate 90, the day break of 97 pennies. Adara has more information.
Keep an eye on Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer. So Donald Trump just mentioned them without mentioning them by name, saying one of the largest semiconductor names in the world is coming in here with an investment in Arizona. Of course, that refers to TSM. Now he's saying that Intel has not done a good job, saying there's been a series of people who don't know what they're doing and they've gradually lost the chip business. So Donald Trump making some comments here about Intel. Keep an eye on INTC here, guys. Back to you.
Ever a dull moment,
Ever.
Joseph?
He will love you one day and then just be like, you're garbage the next, essentially. You're not doing a good job. Yeah, that's funny stuff there, guys. Here we go. We're still sitting in about 60% of this position. Sharif, all these pops get faded. That's just been the narrative for the past month or so. Apple now coming back in towards the volume weighted average price. You get like a 1 5-minute candle in the pop, and then it just sells right in. So these sellers are still fully engaged in this market, and they're not waved out yet. They're not completely exhausted yet, guys. So take that into consideration. We're down double digits on all the Mag 7. I don't think there's a name that isn't down double digits. And if there is, it's maybe Apple that's been holding up relatively strong. And I'm still pretty sure, I'm going to double check here to see what it is down, to be exact, off those all-time highs. And it's looking like we're going to be north of 10% to the south side. Okay, no, not quite. So about 8% now, guys. So holding up the best out of the Mag 7 names. Microsoft, Meta, NVDA, Google, Tesla, Apple. It's just, it's a really tough look. I'm still holding on to 60% of this position, and I'm going to probably get stopped out break even here really quick and just head right back to the downside. So yeah, I'm out of this position here, guys. Hit that break even stop. and I was holding on to the majority of it. Should have took some off. I know we've talked in the chat about it multiple times. It's just like, if you get that pop, get out of the trade and then look for something else, because the chances of it being faded are extremely high in this market environment. So we're going to be really patient and wait for those opportunities to arise, because it's just going to sell. So I might like Apple for a potential short here too. Ooh, that momentum is really picking up in AAPL, guys. Right back towards the volume-weighted average price. Couldn't construct a new high on the day. Now putting in some engulfing candles here. So really, really tough look on Apple. And best believe it's going to drag the rest of the market down with it. So let's see what Adair is up to.
We have comments here coming from Donald Trump on tariffs. President Trump saying that he, quote, may do Canada tariffs today, Monday, or Tuesday. So there is a 3-day range in which we might get some tariff updates here on Canada, where he will, quote, do Canada tariffs. We'll have to wait and find out what happens there. But for now, we'll send you back to the Bash Brothers. Currently, he's doing a Q&A right now, guys. Back to you.
I'm tired, bro.
I'm tired, bro.
This guy's been in office for what, like two or like 3 months now?
We're tired, Donald. We're tired.
Felt like a decade.
Can't handle this anymore, man. Every day, like it's a different situation. It's this. It's no. It's April. It's May. Come on, Donald, bro. We're tired, bro. We're tired. All right. Shout out to Jay Lee, Sharif, Joe. You all should have been short TQQQ before Trump started talking, and wait till he's actually done to cover. That is what I'm doing, LOL. Shout out to you, Jay. You figured out that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he's figured it out, man. Yeah. When you figure life out, Jay Lee just did that. Good luck on him, man.
Shout out to Jay Lee, man. One of the OGs there, no doubt about it. We got a quick print there, guys, at 75.5 pennies, or 75, yeah, and a half pennies, almost 76 pennies here on BTOG. It's it's increasing its higher lows. Sorry, I goofed that whole thing. It's putting in higher lows, okay? So it's not giving me that retracement into 58 that I thought it would give me, so that's okay. If it does, the plan stays the same. But what I'm perceiving here, at least on the 5-minute chart on BTOG, is successively higher lows. And now we're getting successively higher highs. Not by that much. So the shorts are still really, fighting here aggressively, but the longs are winning for the moment. And, it looks as if we've been winning on the day. We're up 165%. We're like a couple of pennies, if not less than that, on the day's high. So we are winning out so far, but it's just keeping the lid a little bit on this one. It's not really opened up wide for the bid. So let's talk about what the details are on this. So BTOG, despite the fact that it's sub $1, only has a float, guys, according to Trade Ideas, of 6.36 million shares, which, needless to say, for a penny stock, sub penny stock is, not sub penny, sub dollar stock is very small. The other side of that coin is it barely has a short float. So 0.63, there's apparently not that many shorts involved in this name. Let me just verify that information on my platform, make sure that the float is accurate there. The market cap of 6.5. I'm getting a float of 5.6 million. So in fact, I'm getting a float of smaller float than what Trade Ideas is telling me. I'm talking about BTOG here, guys. Very small float, and it looks like that's why this is so parabolic. I don't think it's a short float. Adara, what's going on up there?
More comments here from Donald Trump on tariffs. He's saying there has not been much disturbance so far. And he actually said that with regards to, I just want to clarify the other point that I made here with regards to tariffs. So he said basically what Donald Trump had said earlier, as I mentioned, that they may do reciprocal tariffs as early as today or on Monday or Tuesday for Canada. He specifically did mean dairy and lumber. So dairy and lumber tariffs here for Canada, reciprocal tariffs either today, Monday, or Tuesday, just to clarify his comments there. So that is Donald Trump here speaking on tariffs. But with regards to his comments on not there being much disturbance, he mentioned here, and this was echoed by Howard Lutnick yesterday, I believe as well, that there could be, quote, a little disturbance in the market and in the economy due to his tariffs. He's saying that he's not seen much of a disturbance as of yet. And it's so worth noting a couple members of Trump's team, including Trump himself, yesterday said that they're not even really watching the market. Guys, back to you.
I just want to mention one quick thing here, Joseph, because Adara was bringing up lumber there. Guys, there's already a 14.5% surcharge, not tariff, on Canadian lumber moving from the north to the south. So you're already 14.5% disadvantaged than your American counterparts there. So anything he adds onto that, so if he says, 10% tariffs on Canadian lumber, you gotta add that to the 14.5 in the same way that we had to add that new 10% and then the subsequent 10% tariffs, the 20% that's been put in 2 months on China on top of the 25 that were already on there from Trump 1.0. So it's not 20% tariffs on Chinese goods, guys, it's 45. With 2 10s being added this year and the 25, I think he put in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't know if it was 17 or 18. He took office, obviously, in early 17, Joseph. So I just want to add that as a little bit of color there.
Yeah, good luck there. We're back into the cues, guys. I wish I had a little bit better of an entry. I was going to look for the bottom of the range to hold, but here we go. We're starting to kind of squeeze here, and this is what we need. So once those big names start to participate, Apple just trading in a range. And again, the market is mimicking NVDA right now, the cues especially here, Sharif. So if we can get any form of a pop in that name, I think that it will be sustained here in the broader market. So we're going to hold on to this TQQ trade and see if we can get that level that we were previously looking for. That would put us at 64.40, but we will need a pop. It's going to be about another hour and 15 minutes until that summit starts.
What?
That's going to bring some, what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
Reacting.
Okay, yeah. I thought you said yes. Did you? Okay, so maybe she didn't.
what?
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's not a big deal.
We want to know what
Okay,
they're. You can't just do that and leave us high and dry like that.
You know what?
Stay sane in these wild markets. Sure.
It's how she stays sane in these wild markets.
There's a lot to
Everybody's
watch.
got to have a coping mechanism, Adara.
Oh.
They can hear you.
Okay, that's good.
Hi. Yeah, no, you just got it. There's a lot of news, of course. We have Fed Chair Powell in 15 minutes, so gotta talk to yourself sometimes to keep things going. Hope everyone's having a great trading.
Things interesting. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see what the VIX. Yeah, very very well said. Let's see what the VIX is up to here, Sharif. Yeah, here we go. Spiking up, now up to 26.40. So breaking through some prior resistance levels, so that volatility is stepping into the market. And I was watching some options videos the other day, guys. I don't think it's done. We can continue to climb higher in the VIX. And if we climb higher in the VIX, Sharif, what does that mean? There might be some more potential downside in the market here. So keep an eye out on that. 30 is going to be a next key level in this in the fear index, guys. So keep an eye out on it, especially you options traders out there.
BTOG is going to take out 80 pennies. Here we go. Show me 79s and change 79.21 HOD. We've got 59s right now, so let's see if we can continue to weasel on up. I'm looking for an 82 print here. Now, that's a little risky because I'm basically looking for a break of that 10 penny area. Now, the 10 penny area is going to be like the dollar area on a regular stock. So, 80 pennies, 90 pennies, 60 pennies. These are area resistance for sub $1 names. Here we go. 79, 78 now. HOD. Show me 79 and a half. Rejecting 79. So looks like it will reject at 80 pennies, at least for now. BTOG, it's a monster on the day. It's up 180%. Here comes 80 pennies again. Let's see a little bit closer to that 80 penny area so we can see what kind of big boy size is waiting at that area. Can't really stay there for too long, obviously, as the volume is quite insane. We've done 401.5 million shares on BTOG. It makes sense. It's sub $1, right? So it's okay. Let's see if we can continue moving up on that boy. Good trade here, but we could definitely do a little bit better with this. No question. Should have been adding on the dips. That's on me. LTRY still hanging out, looking for that flat top break. On TUYA, we were able to extract a couple of more beak wetters there. This one is a little anemic to the high side. On TLSA, I got the top wick there for now, and now I'm all done my trade on TLSA. Dara.
Hi, Sharif. Yeah, we're going to take a look here at Intel. INTC at day's low. Donald Trump saying, quote, the CHIPS Act is a waste of money. And they're not sure where the money's going to. So keep an eye on INTC. He didn't specifically mention INTC here, though he did mention earlier that it's gone into a state of decline and praised Taiwan Semiconductor. Also, it's worth noting here, I didn't see much of a move here, but he made some comments about these big three automakers and the UAW head, Sean Fain. He also mentioned here, or I guess the auto worker union head, Sean Fain. He did say, though, quote, we're going to load up Michigan with auto jobs. So apparently really looking for some auto jobs. In terms of wider market making moves, though, there were some comments here in a geopolitical sense about Ukraine. Donald Trump saying, quote, finding it more difficult to deal with Ukraine. We know that last week this made quite the move in the market. So keep an eye on these comments here on the Ukraine-Russia situation from Donald Trump, who's still answering a Q&A. Back to you.
Yep. Guys, yeah, Sharif, you know what time it is.
Wow.
Yeah, things move quick around here.
That was
the markets are moving quick.
We
don't have Neil's lesson.
Shooting videos and
shooting
stuff.
videos over there. So, hey. Yeah, so.
All right, I'm ready to go.
We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll.
Oh,
all right,
no,
guys.
We do that at 1.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Oh, you're in a different. Hey, I'm thinking someone else, my guys. Bill, this is time to pay some bills. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy, guys. Leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet, nuclear energy. Partnering with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your entry on the NASDAQ under FMST and on the CSE under FAT, or go to foremostcleanenergy.com for details, guys. There it is, the QR code in the chat and on the screen there. So scan that and check it out, guys, and see what you got going on with Foremost Energy. Holding on to this low here, Sharif, I'm going to send it to you in just 1 second. The support level is coming in handy. I mentioned that high level of open interest at that 480 strike price. It is now acting as somewhat of a put wall. This is what we need in order for this market to bounce. And most importantly, we need the big names to bounce too.
All right, BTOG still dancing with 80 over here. If I get something around 81s, I'm just going to flatten out. 81 pennies is technically the high of the day. Showing me 8.25 is still zigging. Essentially, 80 is still the cap, which we kind of knew that was going to be the case. Here we go. 80 again. Can get a little bit closer to 81 if possible. That's going to be the end of my trade. Okay, so not a bad trade. I definitely could have done a little bit better, as I mentioned, on the dip trades with this, or on the pullbacks. I should have been adding on this bad boy, but that's okay. We'll look to execute a little bit better next time. The Playmaker poll is now up, guys. And just before you guys choose what direction you want to go in, let's talk about where the markets are at right now. The NQ. Not the worst on the day. Second worst, down 1.5. The worst goes to the Russell 2000, down 1 2/3. The best performing major average on the day is the Dow, down 0.88. Kind of crazy to say. And then the ES, kind of somewhere in between, down 1.17. So I'm clicking long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to manifest it. So it's
manifest it? Yeah, well, I mean.
People say that.
It's
like, yeah, it happened because it happened, not because you manifested it.
You don't think so?
No,
really.
You're not a manifesting thing.
No, really.
I think you can set your mindset for success, but whether it happens is going to be completely immaterial to your own mindset. There has to be things in reality that come into play. No.
Yeah, absolutely. But being in the right place at the right time, just because you thought about it,
but
you worked harder.
Is that manifesting it?
Yeah, of course. I think so.
Isn't that just being there?
Well, what if I thought about being there?
I don't know, but I can think about being there, but if I don't go there,
then it's not going to happen necessarily, right? But you got to put yourself in the right place at the right time.
Yes, I do agree with that. I associate manifesting.
Yeah, let's hear it.
More about like thinking and feeling rather than actually doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I'm showing up, I don't know. That's just the way I see it.
I don't know, man.
Right?
I've had it again, we're not going to get too deep into this. I want to hear Ram's 2 cents because she wants she wants to give it. But I was like, hey, man, I need a big game here. I need to perform, right? I remember I told you a couple of times during the day, I'm like, I was preparing all night to come in the next day to perform, whether it be in trading or playing hockey, sports, whatever it be. And I remember a couple of playoff games, I'm like, hey, we're going to get eliminated. I need to have a big game. I honed in. I meditated. I did all these things. I thought of what I was going to do. And then the next day, it came to fruition. So, yeah, got it done,
Fair.
man.
Okay.
So, right? So that's manifesting, no?
I respect that. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
To me, it's just like, I don't know if... It's just like you have to do the work.
You gotta do. It's not just
show up.
Yeah,
so
well, that's two totally different things. If you didn't train
and you went to that hockey game, would you be able to perform in the same way?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. But exactly. So that I think that's maybe a different subject there. Like you can't just be like sitting in your bed playing video games, watching consistent Netflix, being I can't wait to hit the lottery and then not play the lottery. You can't win, right? You got to put yourself in the right position, I believe. So yeah, all right, Ram, we're still waiting. Okay, not getting it. We're going there. Yeah.
5 minutes till Fed Chair Powell, but in the meantime, we do have Fed's Kugler speaking. The first of two Fed's Kugler speeches today. Fed's Kugler saying, quote, "It's appropriate to hold the policy rate steady for some time," citing the uncertainty around inflationary effects of some of these new policies, not naming any policies, but likely related to tariffs. So basically saying that because we're seeing a little bit of slowing in inflation progress, slower than what they'd like to see, it will be, quote, appropriate to hold these rates steady for a while. So keep an eye on the market as we have both Fed's Kugler, Donald Trump, and soon Fed Chair Powell all on the mic, guys. Back to the Bash Brothers.
Adara, yeah, she's going to be with us all day. There we go. Powell in the paint there, guys, getting fouled. So there we go. My new favorite, I guess, animation there. So yeah, climbing higher here in the TQs, guys. If we can pull up my chart, let's see if we can break through some of these resistance zones. That's exactly what we're looking to happen here. We have been holding those lows. I mentioned that put wall at 480. It's looking like it's holding up right now. We got a key pivot level in the TQs to break through at 64 in order for us to come and even possibly test the volume weighted average price. Should I be adding into this position? Most likely. I think that right around here is where you get that add. You get the base here. So if we would like to call this a double bottom, then I'm going to, I can't do that there. Then I would agree with you on that front. But what we got to do is as we break through some of these key zones, you got to be adding into this position, right? Because we want to make our winners as large as possible and our losers as small as possible. So when something starts working out, shout out to Obi, is when you got to start adding into those positions. So let's see if this comes into play. If we break that zone and NVDA wants to break out, then I think we'll be okay. Holding up relatively strong. I want to take a look at Meta because it is dragging the market down with it. So we got to take these big names into consideration because they're so heavily weighted in the index. So let's see. Yeah, so a slight pullback, a nice base put on some of these big names, climbing higher and higher here, Sharif. Looking like we might hit that target we're looking for here on the TQs, my guy.
Shout out to my man, Roland Joe. Sharif, Arsenal fan here. Yesterday's NQ chart with 3 failed breakout attempts reminds me of Arsenal trying to win the Prem 3 years in a row. Hope they don't end up like the NQ. I just saw an interesting data point, Roland. It was the odds of Arsenal winning the Prem now that we're in March and the Prem ends in mid-May is like 1%, and I think Liverpool is like 99.8 something. That could change, obviously. Odds always change, but I'm pretty sure we don't have a shot. If anything, if the only chance I think for a trophy we have is Champions League, and I don't like our chances if we have to play Real in the quarterfinal. I'm really cheering for Atletico. Now, it's only 2-1 after Stadio Metropolitano or whatever loss that they had there on their own ground, and they go to the new Bernabeu Stadium, which I saw Rio Ferdinand was giving us a tour there on of the new stadium. It looks ridiculous. Not that that really matters for them, but anyway, I think at home they probably even beat Atletico worse than they did before. So they have a way of stepping it up in Champions League, man. Like they can play Atletico in La Liga and lose, and that would be completely normal. But in the Champions League, a little bit less likely. So we'll see. I don't know, man. Arsenal, it's just, I think they made a really big mistake not having picked up a striker in their transfer window because now all our strikers are injured for the exception of Nwari and Trossard. And that's kind of left everybody wondering what the hell to do. So, dude, we took a midfielder. We turned him into an attacker. This Mikel Mourinho guy. The poor guy. He's never played attacker in his life, and now you're asking him to attack at a professional level, at the highest level. You can't do that. It's like asking a defenseman to play winger.
You know what's funny? I played goalie one time in our league because our goalie was away, and in the playoffs, you have to play a certain amount of games in order to be eligible. So, yeah, I had to use a rent-a-goalie's thing, and we won, bro.
No way.
Yeah,
Have you ever played goalie in street hockey?
I played, obviously, in street hockey, you've been in there, but, like, at ice is totally different.
I bet,
and we won, like, 3-2 or something along those lines. So, shout out to the boys there. Yeah, here we go, Sharif. Continuing to climb higher in the TQs, running into that pivot level that I was referring to earlier. Can we crack this? We need the volume to pick up a little bit. JP is going to be speaking in 2 minutes, so let's see which way this volatility spike is going to go. go, because once he says something about the market or the economy, it's going to spike it in one direction. We just have to be on the right side of the trade, and hopefully we are here. We are at some lows, which is really important. Apple trading towards the high of the range there as well. So if that decides it wants to break with some volume and momentum, then I think we're going to be sitting in some pretty pennies here, Sharif. So we're going to hold on to this position. Let's see if we can crack 64 here on the TQs.
Yes, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, I dare, yeah.
Donald Trump just finished the Q&A, so now our next speaker here in just about a minute now, we'll have Fed Chair Powell. Keep an eye on those comments. He's speaking at a forum. Might be nothing, but either way, I'll be listening and I will let you guys know. Also, Fed's Kugler still making some comments saying, quote, I strongly supported the steady rate policy at January FOMC. So I don't want to necessarily say hawkish, but certainly some very cautious comments here coming from Fed's Kugler right now, saying that she's, quote, steady monetary policy for some time on this recent inflation data. So inflation data and policies, specifically, I'm guessing the tariff policy leading Fed Kugler to be a little bit cautious about rates from this point, guys. Back to you.
I love this comment, Koi Nagot. Hopefully he says good evening. You ever see the meme? Where he's like, good afternoon, and the market just like tanks. No, you ever see those memes? Those are the best. He didn't say nothing.
He didn't say anything, just said
and then
whatever.
The market.
You see that? Did we have the Salt Bay one where it's like Jerome Powell when he speaks and it's like the market just tanking?
I need to see that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Love these memes online.
What was up with Salt Bay at the World Cup too? He's not even supposed to be touching it. Do you remember that guy?
Oh, he was touching the cup?
Yeah,
he was getting a little excessive.
It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know, bro. Salt Bay, he does his own thing up in that
He's in good shape though.
Huh?
He's in good shape though.
Oh, he's in fantastic shape. Have you seen some of his the dishes that he serves at his restaurant?
Like the gold steak and everything.
Excessive, yeah. Why is it gold plated, bro?
I don't know. Would you eat that? Have you ever eaten gold before?
Oh man, I haven't.
All right.
Gold.
All right.
Have you?
No.
Just like, okay. All right, guys. Good. Look, I want to mention something over here. LTRY got stopped out. I got this one wrong, but this one, I mean, I did the best I could. This one, I perceived it genuinely to be a higher low flat top break, but the seller there at 22 overwhelmed everybody, and then I did get stopped out. So this is my negative on it, yeah, but barely negative on this one. So that's okay. We'll look to do a little bit better next time. Not really much I could do though. I saw it the way I saw it. Doing real well over here on TUYA, taking out multiple prints to the high side. Just got 88s. I'm waiting at 89s and the 90s. There it is. We take out all those levels quick as you like. You see it live. We're doing it live on that level. Now we're done this trade. Okay, so not bad look there. Now we've got nothing on. Now we've literally got nothing on, so we're going to have to look for a new trade. And I'm very proud of this trade, even though I could have done better having added. I think I almost tapped top wick right now on BTOG. I should have been adding on the moves back. I didn't. That's something I need to improve in my trading game, adding to winning positions. I watch Joseph do that literally every morning. Hopefully I'll get better at it. Adair, what's up?
Bang.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell started talking, and I don't think he even said good afternoon. It just seems like he said thanks for having me. So we're going to take a look here at the market. He did say already here there's some uncertainty around the Trump administration and their economic effects. He also said the Fed does not need to be in a hurry to adjust interest rate. Said also some near-term market surveys and measures of inflation have moved up, driven likely by tariffs. So he said the Fed is in no rush to adjust rates. So Fed Chair Powell here is saying very similar comments to the ones we got from Fed's Kugler about 10 minutes ago. But of course, now they're coming from the chair himself. Just to recap here, citing tariff uncertainties and policy uncertainties, as well as near-term concerns about inflation through consumer surveys, as just some signs that the Fed is in a good place to hold steady, saying the economy itself is in a good place as well, guys.
Good look there, Derek. Thank you for that.
Dual mandate in full effect here, Sharif.
Well, yeah, I mean, they threw that at him. It's a legislative mandate. He has to follow it. And when they asked him, like, hey, should the Fed be worried about the environment? Should the Fed be worried about other social issues? And he flat out tells you no. We are enacted by legislation, and the legislation tells us we need full employment and price stability. We're not going to take on any other mandates, period.
That's
right?
it.
And I like that. I'm not interested in having the Fed, act as a governing body, like an elected body. They're not, dude. They're appointed figures.
I think he does his job very well, considering A lot of people don't like him, etc. I think so far. Well, considering comparing, yeah, right. You know, it's a thankless. Oh yeah. I mean, you do well. Exactly. It did some. It's a lose-lose situation essentially. You can't make everybody happy, unfortunately. But America compared to the world economy, doing significantly better than most, and so you can't really complain about that. Those guys have been doing their job. Maximum employment and reaching that 2% inflation goal has JP. And when they said higher for longer, that's what he meant. And it's funny. During the beginning of monetary policy and with the increase in interest rates, Sharif, I remember the market, a lot of analysts were saying, hey, we're looking at like 5, 6 rate cuts within the first year. And I'm like, this guy's been saying higher for longer for how long? And then what makes you think they're going to have 4 or 5 cuts in the first year? It just doesn't make sense. But now the market's only pricing in 2 cuts. Here we go, Sharif, hitting into those targets. Look at this. We're still in the TQs, baby. You see, we're rocking here. The ball is really starting to get rolling. We're going to piece them out. Guys, this is why it's so important to stick to your rules. Look, I tried this trade once. Didn't work. Hop right back in. Get stopped out. Break even. What do? Get right back in the trade. Hey. And then now we're climbing higher. It's the exact same thing here on IBIT. We're roaring now in the TQs, guys. I got stopped out, twice here? 3 times total in IBIT, but the one trade that worked puts you positive. That's the key point. Risk management, key. I was wrong more times than I was right. Still positive on the name, Sharif. Risk management 101. Get out when you're supposed to. That's it. Don't complicate it. Don't complicate your system. Just get out when you're supposed to and put yourself in a position where you can put on those trades that work, Sharif.
Well said, Joseph. Well said. Shout out to my man there, Ifran Mahmoud. He wants me to look at DWTX, and it's one of the biggest movers on the day, especially if you're above $1, that is. This one was not to my liking until very recently. I'm talking about, in the last 5 minutes or so. This one was below the volume weighted average price. It did get above it on the 5 and was hanging out there, but it didn't really seem like it had a lot of momentum behind it. Let's do a little bit of charting here and then figure out how we're going to execute. So we're still well below that 780 flat top, and we just got into that 7.25, an area we've had trouble before. I'm talking about that 1030 pop. We did get above that area. Now, the money fills, or the money entry, I should say, was basically that 20 exponential moving average on the 5. That's not something that I would have done because I would not have been long this stock south of VWAP. So that's kind of the Achilles heel of my trading system, is that, when the money entries are below VWAP, I will not be getting into those money entries. Anyway, dipping back down now below $7. So let's see if this one wants to continue with the higher low, higher high situation. I don't mind picking this up off VWAP at around 6.5 Adair. What's up?
Just keep an eye here on the market. We still have comments coming from Fed Chair Powell, but what's really interesting, apparently the short-term interest rate futures are still betting on a June rate cut. They now are seeing 3 rate cuts total for the year 2025. This comes after Fed Chair Powell said the Fed does not need to be in a hurry to cut. A lot of what's being said right now is kind of echoing things we've already heard from other Feds or from Powell in the past. But one thing he did say is that the Fed's road to 2% inflation will, quote, remain uneven. So still an uncertain path to that 2% inflation, though. That does remain the Fed's goal in terms of their base rate, guys. There, back to you.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. This is what I was referring to. You're looking for those bottoming signals. We got them. Took multiple attempts, running into support level now. We mentioned that, hey, this is the target we're going to look for. We're now out 80% of the position. So if we can hit VWAP, then yeah, I guess we're just going to hold on to this little bit for the dream here, Sharif. So that's the narrative. Going to hold on to this. If we get a pullback, maybe we get a potential add as well too. So going to be really patient here. And my next target's going to be Bitcoin. What's going to happen at 130? Are we going to be trading Bitcoin? Is it going to pop? Is it going to dump? I'm curious to what everybody thinks in the chat. Do we got a pump or dump in Bitcoin? I'm going with the pump side. I think that we can climb higher, especially if this summit goes really well, my guy. What do you got cooking up?
Yes, sir. I'm just keeping an eye here on any of the little statements that make their way onto my news blotter from Fed Chair Powell. He's still speaking back there. We got him on CNB. Okay, he's done. He's walking off now. It is all over. Jerome Powell is done speaking. He's sitting down now. The U.S. Monetary Policy Forum 2025. So he's hanging out there. If Adira has anything, we're going to, we're going to Adira.
So he's actually not done speaking. He's just doing a Q&A right now. So he moved from the podium to the chair. So currently answering some questions, not seeing anything as of right now. If I do see anything of note coming through here, I'm listening to him or from X, I will let you guys know. But yeah, the move to the chair does not at all mean that Fed Chair Powell has stopped talking. I just want to clarify that one for you guys. So it did definitely look a little bit different. Back to you.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little dicey now, because now the wild cards come in. He's going to start answering questions that weren't prepared statements, and oh boy, it's kind of like the Fed rate day. Once he starts taking questions, everybody already knows what the statement is. It's released at 2 o'clock before he reads it at 2:30. The wild card, though, is again that the Q&A period. So we're going to hang out and wait to see exactly what he says there. Sorry, not in any positions, guys. Don't like any of these small cap gappers at the moment. BTOG still hanging out near the highs, but it's got a seller at about 85 pennies. So not going to jump into anything I don't like here. Joseph, what do you got?
Yes, we're still cooking up here in the TQ, guys. You can see that really nice trade, holding the base here. Sharif, I don't know, man. I don't even really know what to say at this point. 480 on the Qs. 480 on the Qs, a put wall. All right, we had that put wall. Someone in the chat, sorry, I forgot your name, but they mentioned it to me time and time again. Watch out for the gamma levels at these key areas, at these key strike prices, and they're coming into play. I only have about 10% of this position, so if we take it next out, then we're just going to get out. 65 is going to be the target. Let's see what Adair's up to.
Just keep an eye here on the market, still trying to push back higher, rallying, or I guess recovering nicely, as we do have Fed Chair Powell saying that most longer-term inflation expectations remain both stable and consistent with the 2% goal. So he did mention some uncertainty with some of these near-term numbers, but as mentioned earlier, he said, excuse me, he does not want things to be happening on a month-over-month basis, so they're not going to look at month-over-month data. The Fed is more focused on the longer term, and he said the longer-term data, most of it, does remain stable and consistent with their goal. So again, if he says anything more, I will let you guys know. Back to you.
Punched in long over here, DWTX. It's generally defending 7. I'm not going to give this a whole lot of room. It kind of topped out there at, I want to say, a little bit above 7.25, comes in to 7, and it seems to be finding some buyers. So there we get the print. Let's see if we can weasel on up a little bit higher. Now I'm waiting at 10s. It's actually showing me 10s on the ask, but not printing at the moment. So let's go ahead and throw out some orders there to the high side to see if we can get printed if we do get a bit of a liquidity grab to the high side. DWTX, it's actually the #1 gapper on my scanner, up 59%. And the reason for that is because I filter all these ones south of 85 pennies. So a lot of the ones that are actually up more on the day but are not above 85 pennies, I will not have notice of. So we'll take a quick print there. We'll long go twos. I could definitely be adding into this one into about 80, but 80 is where I'm going to draw the line. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, there is price action support there at 80. So we kind of did a bit of a consolidation dance there before breaking up again. So if we don't hold that 80 area, I don't really want to hold it. Don't want to give too much back. So we're going to continue to watch over here on DWTX, and then I can add incrementally into this bad boy if it does dip down, Joseph, into that 80 penny level. What do you got, my man?
Yeah, same thing here. I'm going to pull up IBIT chart here, guys. I don't want to just hover around because I'm only in one name. So we'll just put out a quick order on it and see if we can hit 65, and then we'll just post up. We'll do a little post there, guys, at 65 to see if we can hold it. And then we'll just get out of the remainder. Oops, no, I don't want to do that. So we're going to do. So yeah, there we go, guys. 65, we're going to post that order. Let's see if it comes into play. It may take some time, but again, if that crypto summit takes positive, maybe that will move the whole market as well too. But IBIT starting to hold these lows as well. I'm going to take a look at the chain to see if there's any high levels of open interest that have acted as a potential base in this. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see what we got going on in IBIT. If anybody, okay, so 49. Oh my days, Sharif. 49 at the 49 strike price. We on the put side, we have 23,000 open contracts. What was the low of the day here on IBIT? 49.17.
Jeez.
Right? 49.17. All right, so a nice bounce off that, and with the Q, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
I told you 6,000 open contracts at 480. What was the low?
What?
480.58. All right, so I was taking a page out of Katina Man's book there with those key levels working out really well. It's unfortunate that Apple has been just hovering around these, and I'm glad that I didn't try to short it again. I learned my lesson. You don't want to short strong stocks. Someone taught me that years and years ago, even years and years ago. I've been trading 4 years, but I mean, when I first started, they're like, hey man, you don't want to be shorting these strong names, and that is Apple. Unless you're selling the top of this range, if you're a breakout trader like myself, you do not want to be doing that. I'm going to hold on to the TQs a little bit. We might hit our target here shortly, and then we're going to be out of the position, and then we're going to put our focus on towards IBIT itself, all right? Because I think come 130, we might be able to get a nice move in volatility in that underlying, and I'm going to look to follow in whatever direction it goes, Sharif.
All right, man. We did exactly what we said we're going to do here on DWTX. Added into 80, boom, to the high side. But now we got 87s. The best print I got so far was 20s. I'm waiting at 25s, and then I'm waiting at 33s. Let's flip to the one. You can kind of see it a little bit better there. Initially enter, scalp, scalp, scalp to the high side. Dip trade filled, bounced right back up above 7. Pleased as dang punch with this trade. You better believe it, though. I will be putting my stop exactly 1 penny below break even. So let's go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to throw that bad boy on there. So that way we won't give anything back, even if it does lose a bid to the downside. Very happy with the execution on this trade. Let's see if we can get that 25 penny area and then that 33 penny area. DWTX looked like a dead one, basically hanging out below VWAP the entire morning. And then boom, to the high side we get that $6 defend. And now we're looking possibly at 7 holding. And then maybe we can even get to 8. We'll have to wait and see. So DWTX in focus, 58% and change as Jerome. Who's he talking to there, Adair? Who's that guy? A man. Shocked.
Bang.
Highly shocked.
Yeah, he's some dude.
Thought it was, I probably should watch what I say here.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay quiet.
Watch your profanity.
It wasn't profanity. It was going to be mean.
Okay.
And then I don't need to bully a guy, right?
We don't bully around here, man. You're a big, strong guy. You don't need to bully or anything along those lines.
No, I don't like to bully. It's not nice.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We're
So
having a good
Friday?
No bully Friday. No bully any day. All right? What we do is bullies, we bring them in the jiu-jitsu, into the boxing, in the hard knocks, everything. But look at this face slapper we got going on here. If we can pull up my chart, I'm all out now, guys. I ran out of shares. So there we go. It's continuing to climb higher. Hit the dollar club for me because I got that fill.
Man.
We got filled at 65, and it's Friday.
Hey.
I don't even really know what to say. Oh, Mara, everybody in the chat. Yeah, everybody in the chat
is like, breaking out.
Look at this Mara chart breaking through the high of day.
Yeah.
This crypto summit is going to be coming in hot and furious, guys. Be prepared.
Hey.
Don't chase these highs. Don't get too excited, kind of like we are right now. We were positioned well. Don't chase the trade. Let it come to you. Put in those orders. What's Adair up to?
Yeah, just be aware here of the market. Fed Chair Powell, basically being asked about tariffs here, said that the general thought is that a one-time jump in prices does not necessarily need a monetary policy response. But if it becomes a series of actions or multiple tariffs, as Donald Trump mentioned earlier, he's looking for tariffs potentially to change over time. If that is the case, or if there are larger moves or expectations start to move, then that's when the Fed's going to start to be influenced here in terms of their reaction. So if there's a one-time smaller tariff, it's not likely going to be a huge thing for the Fed, but Fed Chair Powell would start to say it would be influential if we keep getting a lot of these tariffs here, guys. He said also that the costs are being cautious are very, very low. So inserting that the Fed will be cautious at this point, especially as there's so many policy uncertainties, caution being emphasized. Back to you.
That's the operative word there, I think.
Caution to the wind.
Yeah. Nick Dub coming in fast and furious with that super chat. Thank you very much, Nick, for the $10 super chat. Bunch of great setups off these bottoms bought. Rivian, Regeneron on strength, and CVX. Sharif, mind giving your thoughts on long-term entry levels for Uber? Love the name. Likewise, I liked it a lot more at 60, but we're going to talk about this because Uber has been defending key areas of technical support. Here we go. Let's go to the daily. So this is, let's go to the weekly because you can see the $60 level a little bit better on the weekly. Okay, so this is kind of I want to say the COVID top for Uber. We get into that $62 level. You can tell most of the closing prints at $60. So very clearly, $60 was a resistance level. We'll call it the COVID top, okay? And then all hell broke loose. Once Jerome said inflation wasn't transitory, we lost 68% of the value from the top at Uber to the bottom when we bottomed out in June of 2022. Now, we all know the market was very, very red in 2022, okay? Since that time, since we put in that COVID or post-COVID bottom at the highs at $87 when we made all-time highs, we're up 336% off those lows. So fantastic look. So for me, Uber is a buy at $60. Even on Black Monday, when we had the unwind of the yen carry trade, look what it did. The worst it did was print 53s, and I'll submit to you, most of that was in the pre-market. By the time the bell rang, we were already above $60, and by the time the week was over on that yen carry trade, we had hit a high of $69. So $60 is a rinse and repeat level for me on Uber. On the weekly, on the daily, take your pick. It is a level of importance. But where do you want to get in now? So we've had this consolidation range in Uber since the 25th of February. We made those all-time highs into 82s, this, that, and the other. Am I looking at it? Yeah. This, that, and the other at Uber. And then we dipped down. It looks like we are finding some support over here with the low end being 73.5. It's in a bit of a consolidation range. I would personally be picking up Uber on dips into $60. Okay, so if Uber drops, into 70, I pick it up. It drops into 65, I pick it up, and I look for that $60 defend. Now, that $60 defend, can be a bit bamboozling, because then you say, oh, intraday wick below 60, I'm out. So there's a rule here that you can follow that helps with, getting out of swing trades. The 3% rule or the 3-period rule. So the 3% rule will tell you hold the position until it breaches your out by 3% on a closing basis. So whatever 3% is below 60. Or you could use the 3-period rule. Now, if you're charting on the daily, that would require 3 consecutive days of closing prints below $60. If you're charting on the weekly and you're executing on the weekly, it would be 3 closing prints of the weekly candle below $60. And then you could use either one of those rules. I mean, these are not my rules, by the way. These are John J. Murphy's rules in his book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. That's his method, one of the methods he posits there. So I like Uber on dip trades. I like it into 70. The 200 exponential moving average is right at 70. I don't know where the simple is. You'll have to Google that. It looks as if it's kind of holding the 50 there. I would be very reluctant to want to use any moving crossovers, moving average crossovers. You've got a whole bunch of bamboozlement over here. You've got the death cross on December 25th or 24th, and then you got the golden cross early or like the first week of February. So to me, the moving average, following a mechanical system here probably won't pay with Uber because we've been kind of locked in a consolidation area for the better part of, I want to say, a year. We've been at this level since last February. So let me know how that goes. Uber is definitely one that I like. I know that there was, some bearishness about Uber a few, I think, months ago when the robo-taxi thing came out, and we heard Waymo was overtaking Lyft in certain jurisdictions. So some people were thinking, Uber's just next. Waymo's going to overtake Uber. I don't think that they're the same thing. So I like Uber. Let me know how it goes. Pick it up on dips into 60, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there. Yeah, Tony, I think both, man. It's a really good question. So Tony asked in the chat, if a tariff is placed on an imported good, what is the effect on A, domestic consumer surplus, or B, domestic producer surplus? Thank you. Probably a little bit of both there.
That's a great question.
Fantastic question. But yeah, guys, here we go. Mara continuing to climb higher and higher, breaking through that high a day, guys. Looking really good for this crypto name. We can see what it looks like from a daily standpoint. Not the prettiest. So in order for us to really break out, we got a lot of levels to go through. And with that, is this summit gonna drag it all the way up here? I don't think so, but it could put some positive momentum behind this name. So putting in a really good session is Mara. I know a lot of people are trading it, but for Payco OR, he wants this. because he's always printing up a storm there. So congratulations, Peko, on those trades. You said you're just killing it on there. Yeah, I'm looking to get involved in IBIT. I think this VWAP hold on the TQs is a positive sign. Can we trade above it for the remainder of the session? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We have some important levels and key levels to punch through first. Like we got these highs and everything along those lines. But even so, you can set up a trade to the test of this prior high, and then even if it rejects, you still have a good risk to reward ratio trade. And if it breaks through, then you're going to be sitting in suntan city at that point. Ooh. So really good look. Google trading better. This is what I'm talking about, Sharif, though. When these big names start participating, look how the market reacts. If they're selling, it's going to drag the market down because they're so heavily weighted. But now you got Apple making a new high a day. You got Google starting to approach the high a day. NVDA is recovering. So when these big names are all working in tandem, it's good for the market, especially if you're long biased, I guess you should say. So
yes, you're absolutely right. I'm just looking at Pan Dub over here. Man, it keeps dropping, bro. I got back in at that $1.90, and now we made a 173 low today. We're back up to 177. But looking at this chart, it's just lower highs and lower lows. What I'm looking for here on Pan Up is I'm likely going to add again today. I've got like a very small position relative to the first one, but this 200 moving average seems to be money on Pan Dub and has been money. Essentially, I want to say since the early stages of 23. So going back, this is the chart on Pan Dub. May 4th, 2023, we touch the 200, we bounce. August 17th, 2023, we touch a 200, we bounce. November 15th, 2023, we touch a 200, we bounce. February 20th, 2024, we touch a 200, we bounce. You guys see where I'm going with this? April 4th, April 10th, we touch a 200 bounce. I'll do one more here. August 5th, 2024, we touch a 200 bounce. And last but not least, January 13th, we touch a 200 and bounce. I'm probably going to buy some in my long-term account. Adara, what's going on?
So we now have here the last question of Fed Chair Powell's event. Just be aware he will be stepping off the podium or the chair, I guess, after this point. The last question he was asked was not relative to the market. He was just asked a question of who's your favorite central banker of all time. So keep an eye on the market, definitely not a market moving question, but we know sometimes as Fed Powell steps off the podium, things can change. And we also now next have the crypto event on watch for the White House. Guys, back to you.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Adara. Yeah, guys, the miners, I'm talking about the crypto miners, they're all high on that good right now because CleanSpark is breaking out right now. It's up 8.5%. You got Coinbase up 2.5%, but that's not a miner. Mara 6.75%, Riot 5%. CleanSpark, as I mentioned, 8 1/5. Hut 8, not really kind of participating. It's still down 0.89. CIFR, what's this one called? Cypher Mining. It's up 2 1/4. I'll submit to you. It's really the Mara and the CleanSpark show right now. Those are the two biggest names. I'm keeping an eye here on CleanSpark, Joseph. Thinking maybe do I need to wait to the $0.50 to pull the trigger here because we're up 8%. We're at the highs. I don't usually trade these, so I'm really kind of unsure what to do at the moment. Wait for support level, what the situation is. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that front, Sharif. You don't want to be chasing all the way up here, right? Like, I guess if you are playing the high day break, I think you do that a couple of times. I think that might be a part of your system as well, too. But you can see this massive engulfing candle. And if you want to play the high day break, especially you have other key levels. Like, look where they touched yesterday. Yesterday's session almost rejects right here. And then and then we go to today's session. We break through that with momentum and the volume stepping in. Are we sending it to Adara?
No. Powell's done talking.
Oh, Powell's done talking?
Yep.
All right. So but that's why you don't want to chase it. Like, I understand if you're playing the high day break, that's a trade. But then when you're all the way up here in 1610, you don't want to be buying these top. You need to wait for a pullback, just like what Sharif's referring to. You don't want to just like that. It's just not proper trading, right? You don't want to chase all the way up there. So just be patient. It'll pull back. We have gone somewhat parabolic on the session in some of these Bitcoin miners. So keep that into consideration. I'm waiting for this pullback in IBIT because look at this run that it went on not too long ago, right? So from here to here, and then it hasn't taken a breath. So I got to wait, and if we're going to sit on top of the volume-weighted average price, what I want to see on the 5-minute time frame is that I want to start to see this selling pressure slowly die off, and that's what it looks like so far, right? So you can see it start to pick up. We stair step as we start to as we join this ascend here in this name, and then as we start to pull back, you can see the volume slowly dwindle, and that's what I'm looking for. And then what you want to find is when is price going to turn around, and then the buyers step right back in. So I'm going to be patient. You can see that the pullbacks are deep, right? Like on NVDA, I was watching it this morning. It trades $1.50 higher, pulls back $1.70. Trades $2 higher, pulls back $1.50. That's tough to sit in. Be patient. Wait for those entries because they'll come to you, Sharif.
We missed a trade here, and I'm feeling awfully silly about it. And we kept talking about it, so it's not like we missed it. We just didn't execute. 600 on Meta.
Ooh, oh yeah,
600 got defend. Look at that defend. This is the 5 too, Joseph.
Hold on, let me do something for you here, there, my guy. Continue.
Can I show the chart, please?
Yeah. So 600 you're talking
600,
about, right?
Well, not technically. Went down to 661, but you know what I mean.
What was the low on that there? To be exact, what was the exact low?
$600.61.
What strike price has the most open interest on today's expiration?
I had no idea.
600. With 6,000.
So explain to people that's a call wall.
It's a put wall.
Put wall.
Put wall. Yeah, it's a put wall. Someone mentioned it on the Qs we seen at 480. I was talking about it on IBIT. Now we're talking about it on Meta. We're bouncing off of these high levels of open interest. We did that lesson yesterday. Go back and watch it. What is a put and what is a call wall? We have 6,000 open interest on today's expiration cycle. We went to a low of 658 cents, you said, or something along those lines?
661.
There you go. So acting as a support level, and we bounce right off it in 3 names. If I were to continue to go down the list, you're going to see those high levels of open interest acting as support.
And here's a chart on Meta, and it's respecting area resistance as well. Like, look at this area support that we kind of hung out at. This is kind of a bear flag. We move down, we consolidate sideways, we drop down again. Bear flag continuation. Lo and behold, the market pops on some positive news, and then boom, we come right into that 612.5, right below VWAP, and then we're dropping again. Meta's in play today on predictable levels at 600 was good. This area rejection here was good. So, you know, it's a $600 name. Obviously, that probably is a little annoying for some people because hard to size into, especially if you're at home. But yeah, Meta is in play today. What's going on over there, Katina, man?
Short AMD 99s.
The Katina man is now short AMD at 99s. And anybody with a quick cursory view knows that he's $1 in the money on AMD because it is now down 0.2%, Joseph. NVIDIA also down 1%. A good recovery, good entry there, Katina, man, because that was the closing print from yesterday, that 99.85 give or take. So shout out to you, support and resistors trader extraordinaire. Sean Katina is back from the gym, and he's back on the computer, so watch out longs. He's short AMD.
I'm on BBAI.
He's long BBAI, full disclosure. So it's not just a full bearish look today on the market. Shout out to you, Sean. Great trade, brother. We'll wish that you hope print out several storms up in that place. Guys, I'm continuing to watch ARBB. So this one was of interest to me, but it was kind of below VWAP when we were talking about it. It was also sub $1. It hadn't cleared that dollar. I perceive this to be a big boy double bottom here with a neckline breakout above that buckle 4, buckle 5. So this is in play right now. I'm talking about ARBB. It's up 44%. It started out its life today sub $1, but it's grown up. It's still a $29 million market cap, having traded 11.3 million shares on the day with a float of 15 million shares. And let's find out what the short float is here on ARBB. Negligible, 0.16% of said 15 million is borrowed for short. So we're going to have to work off the smaller float here. We probably won't be able to catch much shorts offside. ARBB in focus for me. I'd like to pick it up off 2 different areas. I don't want to pick it up at highs. I like that buckle 5 because that was an area resistance level. I'm going to look for that to be support. I also like it at that dollar. So I probably have 2 entries on this one. If that buckle 4, buckle 5 doesn't work, I will DCA into the dollar. Couple of reasons for that. Number 1, the dollar is an area of support for these, very cheap stocks. We know $1, $2, $3. The whole dollar is an area sometimes support and resistance. In addition to that, their volume weighted average price is at 98.9 pennies. So essentially overlapping with $1. I like my shot there. I'm going to load this up on a trading screen, and I'm going to put a dip trade for $1.05 and $1 exactly. Joseph Wilson, what's up?
Hey, I like a buck. We're in some IBIT here now, guys.
Okay.
The thing is, though, I had to give it 50 cents, Sharif, which isn't ideal, a little bit wider of a stop. But I'm just talking about waiting for price to turn around. You can see that the momentum to the downside really picked up. But then we have this indecision candle right here, and that's what I'm going to risk. If we break that, then we could potentially head lower. We got about 28 minutes until this summit starts, and then people are going to start talking. So hopefully I'm going to be on the right side of this trade. We are climbing higher here in IBIT, but here's the out, looking for VWAP, and then a potential break of this pivot high. You can see that we have resistance here, guys, right? So that's why it kind of rejected it. So you can see that we traded within this range, come up to the volume weighted average price, pulled back deeply on that market sell-off, and then now slowly climbing higher. That's what we're going to be patient for and wait, because I think in 28 minutes we can. It's going to pick a direction, and it might be fierce. So I'm prepared. I'm ready to get out if I have to get out, and if it works out, then I'll be happy on that front as well too. So yeah, guys, let's see what we got going on. There's a reason you have to give IBIT 50 cents. The point of trading is to get rich or die trying. Yeah, there you go. That's the only thing, right? You got to give. I get it. I think I get it anyways. I might not get it, but that's okay. Pretty sure I don't get it.
I felt like that many times.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna pretend because I don't want anyone calling me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't really get it, but that's okay. You ever see those videos of that guy like telling Jamaicans jokes? But
No.
the jokes don't make any sense. And he's like, yo, you get it? And they're like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
He just wants to set them up, right? Like,
No, it's funny stuff.
Okay.
That guy's funny. But here we go, guys. Climb higher. I think if we can break this pivot at 50.40, then we're going to be able to clear it and then maybe tap into 51 again. And that's what we're going to look for. So holding on to this. Market right back to where it pulled back, guys. So the Q's looking to break, the TQQ's looking to break 66. All these names are really climbing higher. Apple continuing to put in a new high a day. I haven't looked at NVDA in quite some time. Let's see what it is. Now trading above the volume weighted average price. Google running into the high a day as well. So a nice pullback here in the market. The volatility is here. And I mentioned the VIX being up, guys. So take that into consideration. Probably cooling off now, considering that we're climbing higher. You got to take into consideration that inverse correlation. But again, it spiked this morning. We traded higher, then we saw it cooled off. We sold off, and then sorry, Sharif, I'm trying to do something.
You're good. You want me to take over?
Yeah. For a second, I want to pull up the VIX here. Okay, I got it now. I'm good. Okay, so here we are. You can see that as we climb higher in the VIX, look what happens. It just drops off. So this whole recovery, this is the market recovery. The VIX cools down, drops a couple points here in a matter of a half an hour. 7% almost on that intraday. Climb higher in the earlier sessions when the market was selling, and then just pulls right back as the market continues to trade higher. So inverse correlation on the VIX there, guys.
All right, man. I'm happy with this trade as well. ARBB. I yelled about this enough times over here that we did have support at that $1.04. I ended up front running it at a $1.06 because you know how these guys are. Buyer exuberance does step in. So we scalped into 108, 110. Now I'm waiting at 12s and 14s. 14s is the basically front run the high of the day, which is at 15s. So previously we had resistance at 12s. That was the 1040 pop. We cleared that, not by a lot, but we did clear that. So let's see exactly what we get. Now I'm going to leave my dip trade here the same. So initially I had my dip trade at 101 for one specific reason, to defend the dollar area and VWAP. I still like it. So even though we got that pop up, I'm still leaving that dip trade active. Let's see what comes. Adara, what's up?
Just keep an eye here on crypto, because if there wasn't enough events going on today, of course, we do have the White House Crypto Czar, the first of its kind, White House Crypto Summit, first of its kind. The reason I mentioned the Crypto Czar is because the Crypto Czar, David Sachs, is speaking right now, looks like ahead of the summit, saying the Bitcoin reserve should have been done, quote, a long time ago, and saying that the goal of the summit is to hear from industry leaders. So speaking of those industry leaders, this infographic here, which you can find on X at TTV Research, provides a little bit of a rundown as to who's going to be present. So check this out on X at TTV Research. This is specifically industry individuals that are expected to attend and not anybody in government. Again, 4 publicly traded crypto-related companies going to be in attendance. Brian Armstrong of Coinbase, Michael Saylor of MSTR, Fred Teal of Mara, and Vlad Tenev of Robinhood. Back to you.
You think they throw an invite to your buddy SBF there in jail?
Do you think they can Zoom from you think you can get a Zoom call
I know
in
he
there?
can Zoom. You want to know why?
Where he was calling his parents?
No, because Tucker Carlson had him on the show yesterday.
No way.
Yes, Tucker Carlson interviewed.
What was Tuck saying to him?
He asked him if he was charged out on Adderall still.
Still, how?
Well, because remember he petitioned the court to get it sent to him in jail.
Well, yeah, because
And the court was
he's
like,
addicted.
nah.
He's like addicted. That's why he's like, come on, man, I need it. He'll find something.
Oh, so hard. He was quite aggressive with him.
They were
Anyway,
partying.
Tucker Carlson on his TCN network, he's got the interview there with SPF. So I just, they throw SPF.
We had
an
Kevin on
invite
the
there.
show this morning, and he asked Sam, where did the money go, Sam?
Yeah. Where's the money, Sam?
Sam, where
Yeah, I remember
is
that.
the money?
I kept doing that all of
Where is the
23.
money? Yeah, where is the money,
That
Sam?
was hilarious.
I can tell you where it went.
Yes. Yes, that is out there, guys. Sam Bankman-Fried on the Tucker Carlson network. He asked him about Diddy as well.
No
He's like,
way.
how do you feel about Diddy? And he's like, well, I've only seen one side of him. Jail Diddy. He's nice to people in the ward. He's good to them. He's, hasn't done anything.
They're in the same they're in the same prison? No way. So he sees them around, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're hanging out apparently.
Is R. Kelly in that same one too?
I think R. Kelly might be in the Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100%
That's
sure,
interesting.
Joseph, where R. Kelly is, but yeah. Yes, that is true, Darwin. He was on the show. Yes, we did have him before everything kind of fell apart for him, and nobody really knew that he was crooked. Neither did we.
No.
I remember being a viewer watching that from back home. I still wasn't on the floor over here. I'll never forget it, like yesterday, man. I was like, who is this guy with the poofy hair? I didn't know who he was. Straight up, didn't know who he was. Now I know. All right, we got the fill, baby, here on ARBB. Thanks. Let's see if it holds that dollar now. So we're going to give it a little bit of room. I got 103 with that addition. Took out a bunch over here. Now I'm going to wait at 105s. Let's see if ARBB wants to defend that volume weighted average price, and by extension of that dollar. We're going to find out shortly here, Joseph. Going to put my stop below 97 pennies. What do you got over there?
No, I don't, Savage Trades. No, I don't want to visit him. Yeah, whatsoever.
What?
But yeah,
Why would you want to visit him, bro?
Well, someone asked me if I wanted to visit R. Kelly. I said, no, I do not want to
Kelly?
visit. Yeah, no, I do not want to visit that man.
What's
but here,
going on, man?
here we go. Yeah, we're going to probably get stopped out break even. Unfortunately, we didn't take enough off here, guys. Starting to pull back in. We'll just wait to potentially hop back in. If it does come back to what is my average, 49.99. All right, so we got a couple pennies. Hopefully this level holds, and then we will look to maybe add here if it can, to look for that move above this level. But this is prior resistance as well. You can see that it came into play here, so it's acting as a resistance level here. So in order for us to break through that and sit on top of it, we're going to need to see some volume step in and then continue on that path. But as long as we hold, and just pay attention to the time of sales as well too. You can see that it's relatively weak right now, and that volume to the downside is really picking up. But one thing that is positive, it's not overly reactive to it. So you can see the selling pressure come in, but then we're holding strong. So if we can get a flush above the ask and at the ask and above it, then I think that we can continue to climb higher. One thing to note is that we have a lower high here, guys. So we didn't even really tap into the volume weighted average price. We went a little bit lower than that, and then now holding this range low, which we're going to look
going
to
on
continue.
there, Adara?
Are we ready to? Let's see what Adara is. We got some. I'm telling you, we got some big news with that one there. I think Adara's ready.
That's good. This is going to be
It
big.
better
Just
be
from the
big.
tone
It
of the
better
voice
be
there.
big. Yeah.
Okay, Adara, go.
I don't think I'm going to disappoint you guys. So I was looking here for a link to the stream for the crypto event, which I didn't think started till 1:30 p.m. But not only is it streaming on Strategy, or formerly known as MicroStrategy's YouTube, but currently speaking is none other than Elon Musk, who I was not seeing as either confirmed or expected to attend the event. So Elon Musk talking right now about a Bitcoin-related, I guess, QR code. It says scan or regret. So I guess they want you to scan that Bitcoin-related QR code. I'm waiting to find out what happens here. It does not seem like it's market moving, but worth noting, A, this event has started, and B, a surprise attendance here from Elon Musk, who again, and everything I read, was not slated as confirmed or expected to be here. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. I sent you a message. Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Obviously, Elon throws another curveball. It's not like he hasn't been involved in crypto before. He obviously allowed people to buy Tesla's with Bitcoin. Remember
And
Doge? He's
Doge
obviously
too,
been involved
right?
with Doge.
Wow.
You know, naming the government
So
agency
what, he put a
after it. of course.
QR code out? Is that what did I hear correctly, or am I?
Yeah, we'll
in
find
a
out.
different?
Yeah.
Don't scan it. Don't.
No.
Don't do that.
Just gonna wait for the stream.
Yeah.
Looking for that bad boy, and then we'll be able to kind of keep tabs on things as well. So great look. We'll have to wait to see whether Elon chimes in, Joseph, and what he has to say about this whole thing. He's been at the White House a lot lately. Do you know that he was sleeping apparently in his office?
Yeah, it's most definitely a scam. Yeah, and that's what I was.
Okay, go ahead, Adara.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, I'm still looking into this. The reason I thought it could be legitimate is because it's literally on the MicroStrategy or Strategy, what looks like their YouTube channel. I'm going to look more into that, though. I do apologize, guys. I'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you, Adara. No worries. I know it's a fluid situation, obviously. So, and you know, we're gonna definitely do our best to give you all the accurate information. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Guys, I'm still hanging out here in ARBB. We got that $1 print, excuse me. We're back up to $1.04. I'm still waiting at 105s for a possible print over here. This is a support and resistance trade. It is that dollar area that typically acts as area supports, overlapped by the volume weighted average price, which is another area of possible support. Underline that word, possible. So we already scalped a couple of beak wetters there to the high side. Now I'm going to look to see if we can get something at 105. Ozan. I can't with Ozan anymore, bro. He makes me laugh too much, bro. I was in my meetings. Did we do e-signal yet or yet? Like he loves the e-signal. He's not here for me and you,
136.
Joseph. He's not here for the trades, bro.
No.
He's here for e-signal, man.
only.
We're so silly. We're so you know. What's it called? Naive. All right, guys, we get the print there on ARBB. How many shares do we have left? Okay, so we're going to take out some of these bad boys. We're going to look at 107. Let's see if we can get that. We just had 107s. Showing me 107s right now on the ask. Can we get the print? ARBB. Show me sevens. Give me sevens. Give me sevens. Or it's not going to give me sevens. We're going to go to Adara.
So yeah, sorry about that, guys. It does not look like that was legitimate. I do apologize. I did find one, because again, we've already had comments here from Crypto Czar David Sachs. Again, not sure if those are from the event itself, but I did find one link here. It looks like actually at 3 p.m., we're going to get comments from Donald Trump at the White House Digital Asset Summit. They've not yet begun streaming. This is from PBS NewsHour. The stream is ready to start, but has not yet begun. So again, Donald Trump expected to deliver remarks at 3 p.m. We already expected that. I am not able to find a link to the event itself, though, beyond these Trump remarks. So it's going to be a bit of a wait and see type event, guys. Back to you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So exactly. No, guys, someone in the chat asked me, how did I know so quickly? It's because I seen that one before and it actually looks legitimate. It's like Michael Saylor and Elon. It's like scan the QR code and then you'll get like a 2-to-1 like Bitcoin or something like that. If you, whatever you fork up, they'll double it essentially. And I seen that before. And I got excited just like Adara. I'm like, oh no, I was texting my cousin. I'm like, yeah, dude, look at this. And then I came to the realization that the mouthing was slightly off.
Oh.
They were repeating it, right? You see those ones, right? So I'm like, oh no, this isn't exactly what you want to be looking for. So just be weary of that stuff. Hopefully no one in the chat actually scanned the QR code. I'm back into some iBid here, guys. If we break this level right here, 49.98, where I got in before, then I'm just gonna get out. The reason why I hopped back in was because we sat on top of this range here. And then now I'm just looking for that push. So this is my out, very, very tight risk. It's about 10 pennies or less even. I'm not gonna hold on to it. Gonna wait for another 15 minutes for this summit to start. And then if Bitcoin decides it wants to rally or dump, I'm gonna be positioned okay and I'm gonna have my outs placed. And then if we climb higher, then I'm gonna look for that 51 and then potentially the high of day. The spikes, let's see what everybody in the chat is saying. Pizza Rat, the spikes we saw in crypto markets is because of whales moving USDT. We have a lot of motion in Ether, BNB coming out in USDC. Okay, very valid point. Sebastian, appreciate you. You're a beast. And oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say. Sharif, you asked me yesterday, with this summit, are we gonna start to see more ETFs in like Cardano, XRP come out and along those lines? And what I was saying to Sean last night is that, in my opinion, we know that iBit is a relatively popular ETF. Okay. But then you got to think about the second most popular cryptocurrency, and that would probably be Ethereum. right? And we very rarely even trade that ETF, right? Like no one does that. So I don't see too much of a popular, like I don't see too much demand for these other cryptocurrencies to be placed into ETFs, other than maybe the crypto traders that are already involved in those names. Like institutional investors, I think they're more hyper-focused on Bitcoin. And then if you want to get into that secondary market, it's probably going to be Ethereum and XRP. But again, I don't know if there's enough demand for those styles of ETFs.
All right. Apparently, you should be able to watch it on the actual White House YouTube channel. That's what chat is saying. It's not up yet because it's not 1:30, I don't think. So we'll have to wait to see whether it shows up live on that website. So just make sure that, get the official source kind of thing. So we'll wait. I've got that bad boy up on the side screen over here. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you. Shout out to Nick Dub, Joe, REGN and mRNA, great long setups. Thoughts?
Okay, yeah. Well,
I can take one. You can take one.
Yeah,
I'll put you on both.
Absolutely. Take the first one there, my guy.
Okay, let's take. Which one do you say first? Regeneron. Let's go REGN.
Yep.
Let's have a look. We're gonna start with the. Ooh, that's a nice looking chart on the day today. Only $700. Not a big deal. No, I'm kidding. Of course, obviously it's a lot of money, but it's a great looking chart on the day. Light on volume, as we expect. Obviously, REGN, expensive name, typically doesn't do that much volume on the day, about 480,000 shares, give or take. Let's go to the daily chart, though. Whoa. So Regeneron definitely wasn't not being regenerated to the upside over here from August of 2024 onwards. Since that August top at about a little higher than $1,200 to the low that we put in there in early Feb, we're down 47%. So it's a bit of a tougher look, obviously. REGN, do we have any area supports at this level to kind of say, oh yeah, that 675, that 650, that was an obvious level. Yeah, this area over here, I mean, that's January 9th, 2023. Look, it kind of feels like maybe it's found a bit of a bottom. On REGN, there's an obvious area top in this kind of consolidative phase that we've been in. It looks like 750, 740 to the high side, with generally 675-ish to the downside. We're trying to work our way above the 50. We've had breaches of the 50 exponential before on this downtrend. They failed. But we have higher lows over here. So if you're looking at this area having bottom, this is a bit of a higher low. Tough to say with this one. I definitely like the fact that it's trying to take the 50, especially because it hasn't even touched the 50 since September 23rd of last year. That is, of course, until this area over here when we tried to breach the 50 on February 25th. So I do like the fact that it looks like it's bottoming here possibly. Look for it to break above this range on a closing basis, Nick. This, look at this. This was an area support as well, and then it flips to resistance. I'd say a closing print above 740 definitely gets me interested, but the fact that it's above the 50 exponential now on a closing basis, Nick, you don't want to see the same garbage that we saw here on February 25th, where it clearly passes the 50 exponential only to kind of close down and then tank for 4 or 5 straight days subsequent. So look for that big boy print to the high side. You don't want to see a topping tail candle like that, Nick. And you got that too as well over here. Look at this. When we attempted a breach of the 50 on February 6th, you got a topping tail candle of indecision. Both of these candles, the one on February 6th and the one on February 25th, ended up being candles of indecision into the 50. Today, we haven't closed the day, obviously, so we could retrace. This doesn't look like a candle of indecision, though. Let me know how it goes, Nick. Shout out to you, my man. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, so we're going to go over the other one for Nick, but shout out Tony real quick. Sharif and Joe, I have the utmost respect for you gentlemen. Ooh. You're trading, and the acumen is growing. I don't know what that word is exactly, but that's okay. No, Tony, we appreciate you, and thank you very, very much. Bitcoin just chopping around. I thought we were going to get this break. That volume you can see on the lower time frame, this little signature right here. I know you can't see much because I have a different chart up, but I thought that maybe would help the pop, but it doesn't seem to be the case. We breach 50, then I'm going to get out of Dodge and wait for this summit to start. Enough attempts, fairly volatile, didn't grab the bottom, grabbed the TQ bottom, etc. But Nick W. on the $5 super chat. I think this is, mRNA has put in some solid days here, starting at the beginning of the week here. Nick Dub. So a nice steady trend. You can see you get these about like 40% pullbacks on the move, which is relatively healthy, I guess, from an intraday standpoint. But then you just go parabolic out of the open here. So really good look there on mRNA. I'm not too sure if Adair had any news or anything along those lines regarding it. I don't think there is enough here. We are trading at these lows, which is extremely unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna pop out of IBIT here. But see, the thing is though, Nick Dub, I don't like trading these pharma companies, to be honest with you. I had fun of them, and the saying goes, never let a crisis go to waste, I guess. And that's what we did with mRNA, and I don't see that necessarily coming into play here. But again, it's the same narrative with the tariffs here, guys. Never let a crisis go to waste. Like, if you're liquid and you're sitting on some cash, you're gonna get some of these strong names, like the Meg 7 at some good prices, down 15, 20, 18, 13%. Some of these big names are. So just be prepared to grab them because the fundamentals are still relatively strong. We still don't know the full impact of the tariffs as well, too. So you have to take that into consideration. But yeah, that's kind of the motto I go by. Never let a crisis go to waste. I'm going to hop out here on, let me see if I can pop out in a different way. And here we go. There we go. So we're all out of IBIT, guys. A couple attempts, not holding those support levels like I was kind of hoping, and that's okay. We'll look to get back in once that summit starts. But that's what I'm thinking about Moderna. If there's anything going on, then maybe you can look to take advantage of it. Buying it at those lows, something can happen, something positive can happen in your favor as well, unless you decide to take another dump. So mRNA, okay, so here we go. Adair sent me the mRNA headline. So US CDC plans large study into potential connections between vaccines and autism, source says. And I think a lot of people have been preaching that for some time. I know my buddy always tries to tell me about that stuff. And everything. So vaccines, the linking between vaccines and autism. So there you go, a study being done. And anytime, Nick W., let's see what's going to happen here in Bitcoin. I wouldn't mind if we can really get the ball rolling here shortly. We know that the Bitcoin miners were trading relatively well. Couldn't break through VWAP here in this underlying asset and then just continuing to move lower. So you can see that we were in once, we took a little bit off, got stopped out, break even, decided to get back in, and then it broke through that support. What do? We just get out of the trade, because if it is going to turn around, we're going to look forward to, and we're going to wait for those signals to come in. But as of right now, we got to be a little bit patient. I don't see it breaking through the volume weighted average price. With this momentum picking up to the downside, it's looking like this summit, Shreve, is going to head Bitcoin south.
Down.
East, southeast.
Well, let's get at least let's get a comment or two, Joseph, before we start,
Jumping the gun a little bit here?
Yeah, let's get at least a comment. Let's hear about what they have to say. Guys, again, if you're just joining us now, Joseph and I were talking to start the show off about how that executive order that came out yesterday from Donald Trump said there was going to be no new tax dollars to buy Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. However, they were looking at what they call budget neutral methods to actually be able to fund Bitcoin. So budget neutral to me means that you're not levying new or you're issuing new spending. So it would mean something like taking an already available asset that's on the books, selling it, and then redirecting the funds from the sale of that asset to buy Bitcoin. I jokingly kind of gave the example of this federal building that's in Orange County near my sister's home that it has been basically a ghost town. Since she bought that house in 2016, it has been consistently empty. It's got a huge parking lot, kind of looks like a pyramid building with like kind of a pyramid structure, and it's got huge amounts of parking space that the kids all use to kind of play pickup basketball games. It's kind of pieces of property like that are going unused that are on the federal government's books that I perceive to be good candidates maybe for the sale and then the refunneling of those assets. That's all speculation by me. We'll have to wait to see exactly what the actual decision makers have to say in about 4 minutes when this whole thing starts. Again, White House Crypto Summit, 1:30 today. It runs from 1:30 to 5:30. Widely speculated there's going to be more information given than was included in that EO, the executive order yesterday. So we're going to have to pack our patience. Joseph Wilson.
Yeah. Okay.
Out there.
Yeah, we're back into IBIT once again there, my guy. Broke through that and just get a little bit better of a price, right? Whether it be 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever it may be. And then now we can use our risk to reward ratio significantly better. We're going to get out here at the 49.80. So it's literally a 10-cent risk, 13 cents. And then we're going to look for that 50-30. So a nice RVR on this trade if it can come into play here and works out. But let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
It is with regards to the crypto summit. As I mentioned earlier, initially I was seeing it was supposed to start 1:30 to 5:30 p.m. Saw that from a couple different outlets. But on the PBS, I guess, website to stream this remark, it looks like Donald Trump's remark start at 3 p.m. So it's unclear if the summit is actually going to start at 3 p.m. as well, or if they're going to start in 2 minutes at 1:30 p.m. as planned. I know there were some comments coming through pretty recently as well from White House crypto and AI czar David Sachs, who's expected to run this event. So we're going to have to wait and find out if this event does happen at 1:30 or if it starts at 3. But regardless, we'll give that coverage to you guys. Donald Trump, at the very least, here set to begin delivering comments at 3 p.m. for this crypto event. And that has been publicized by quite a few different groups there, guys. Back to you.
Great look there, Derek. Thank you for that. Yeah, that with love to all, Laguna Niguel, yes, was just sold. That's exactly the one that I'm talking about. He knows exactly, or they know exactly the one I'm talking about there. It doesn't have to be that one, though. I'm sure the federal government's got plenty of more unused buildings. I was going to make a joke, but probably shouldn't in poor taste, so I'll just keep it to myself there.
Got to watch out there.
Yeah, you know.
Foul.
Yeah, exactly. Foul. Perfect animation there. Guys, I'm still involved in ARBB over here, but I'm now considering a possible entry into BTAI. Now, this is kind of a convoluted looking chart when you look at the 1, but here's the 5. Let me make my case here. We're putting in higher lows, so area trough in the pre there, or that's actually the 930 trough there at 268. We hold VWAP very respectfully, so it's another higher low. And here we are again, dropping down into that 305 area, breaching VWAP, but quickly retracing above it. So in other words, this is a VWAP retracement entry. It's up 13 2/3, but the volume, sadly, is dropping off. And in addition to the volume dropping off, some of the bad stuff about this one is that the range per candle is quite wide relative to the price. So it's not a tight range like it was in yesterday. It's a bit of a wide one with outsized volume bars. So you can kind of feel the nature of this small cap gapper is for there to be spurts of volume coming in and then periods of inactivity, dry spells. So you're going to have to account for that. So that means you could be waiting for 30 minutes, half an hour, and then all of a sudden, right? So that's kind of the idea there. BTAI looks good, but, you know, a little... there's some good and some bad. DWTX, a trade that we had on earlier, is making yet another attempt at $7. This one has been quite bamboozling. And I'll submit to you, the money fills on DWTX have all been below VWAP, okay? I still won't trade it below VWAP because it's a slippery slope. I start trading this one below VWAP, and then I'll trade others, and then I'll end up getting rinsed. So I'm going to continue to stick to my guns over here, but I wanted to tell you that this one is coming into that 740 area where it found excessive selling last time. And that level, this general 730, 740 level is not a new area. Despite the fact that the high of the day is 780, look at these area rejections. 1030, we reject. Again, 1105, 1110, we reject. At 1230, 1235, we reject. So, you know, there's obviously selling in and around there, 7.30, 7.25. So DWTX, in focus. Still holding ARBB. I don't mind adding into this one if it dips into $1 again. Look at the amount of bottoming tail candles all into that dollar, all of which have been aggressively bought. That's the good side of the analysis. The bad side is we're putting in progressively lower highs with that 1115 high a day being the area crest, and then successively lower highs after that. So the sellers have been kind of pushing this one a little bit down. Let's see if the big boy buying wants to step up in the same way that it did. Now, this one also has dry spells and then area bursts of volume. Take into consideration this area here at 1030. We have huge amount of volume spiking up. We make the high of the day. Then dry spell, complete consolidation. Then volume, boom, pushing this one in. So get familiar with the nature and the characteristic of the small cap gapper. They all trade differently. I'll submit to you, this one is kind of, the characteristic for this one is spurts of volume, pushing prices to highs. So build your position into the area support. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. ARBB, just to mention again, I don't mind adding into that dollar if it allows me to. So much so do I like it. I'm going to throw out another order there. We're going to sit at 101s, exact same area we sat last time. Let's see what comes of this one. Joseph.
Yeah. We're still holding on to this Bitcoin. One thing that we have to note here is that we are constructing these lower highs, which is not good for this trade. We need to break through that in order for us to continue to climb higher. It's not looking like we're going to. You can see the selling pressure start to pick up on the lower time frames. So I'm not even going to hold this to a loss or anything along those lines. I'm going to get out at break even. To be honest with you, I don't want to hold it. It's not trading how I want it to, so I'm not going to try to fight something that I essentially have no control over. So that's me just being a little bit patient. But I also just want to note here, guys, this is why you get in and you get right back at it. You get out and you get right back into trades. All right. So you can see we take this here, we take a little bit off, and then we get stopped out. We enter again, we get stopped out. But now my price is better than both of my other entries right here. And then now you have a better risk to reward. I'm risking down here 10 cents. Now you can hit a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, whatever it may be if it decides to break. Positioning is key. And that's what we're looking for here. If we can break this trend line, then I think we can climb higher. And the next target's going to be the volume weighted average price. That'll put us around 50-40. But it's not looking too pretty. It seems to be that the summit has started here now. So, well, I'll be patient. And if it decides to wants to break or dump or whatever it may do, I'll be prepared either way to either take some profits or to just fully get out of the position. What do you have to do?
Adira, is it live now? Because I got Donald Trump talking on a bunch of different streams here at the desk. I don't know if you've got anything there. I'm trying to cross-reference different streams so as to kind of determine whether or not these are fake or not. They're all live and they're all showing me the same thing. Donald Trump at the desk is that an old one, Brendo?
Is that an old?
That's an old one, yeah. Okay, so all these ones seem to be kind of doing the same thing. They're all rebroadcasting the same nonsense. They're all on perfect timing, though. That's so weird. Anyway, the White House, it's the exact same channel. It's actually not. But this area over here is the White House website. For YouTube. Apparently, it was supposed to be live over here. There's nothing live coming in here, so I don't have anything. If you guys have the link, and a legitimate link, not the ones that we're seeing here show up all over the web, let me know what it is in the chat, and then we'll verify it before we start discussing it there. So there's no media there, says Sumerian Style. You're actually right. I do remember that being mentioned. Thank you for that.
There's no media there.
No, they're not inviting the media. You're right.
Oh,
that's
really?
the problem. Okay,
Wow.
so I think that is actually the case. I did read that yesterday in one of the articles. Okay, so that kind of sucks. So then we're not going to be able to report on it. Adira's got something for us. Hopefully it's good news.
I will say with regards to this event, the one thing I am seeing, and I mentioned this earlier, but just to remind you guys, PBS NewsHour, and I've seen this also, again, put on Financial Juice and other sites as well, Donald Trump is set to deliver remarks here at the Digital Asset Summit for the White House. That might be the biggest thing, but again, that's going to be coming not until 3 p.m. is what I'm seeing there. He's going to be delivering these remarks. This is expected to be streamed. PBS NewsHour is expected, I guess, to stream it there. And again, this has been up for at least a couple hours now on Financial Juice as well. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Adira. That at least gives us something to look forward to. If we can get some remarks, at least we can kind of understand when to be in and not in these crypto trades. Because it's like just like Jerome Powell. You know, be dropping an interest rate decision or taking questions, and you know what I mean.
You want to wait for that volatility to phase out. You don't want to, you don't want to be in exactly at those points.
Exactly.
But here we go, guys. Still holding on to this position. It's not looking too good. I told you if it comes back to the break even, then the chances are that it's going to continue to climb lower. We are at some resistance. It's going to need some volume. You can see there's next to no buying pressure here, which is unfortunate, guys. So yeah, not looking too pretty for this IBIT break to the top side. But we'll be patient. I know a couple people in the chat are mentioning that is putting in higher lows as well too. So we'll take that into consideration. But yeah, momentum in this name can't be sustained, and it's not being sustained. I'm curious to what Mara and company is up to. Have they pulled back since? And we'll see that here in just a second as the chart loads. Here we go. Okay, so still holding relatively strong here, Sharif. Price really starting to compress here on Mara. You can see that we're putting in that bull pennant, the ascending wedge, whatever you would like to call it, here on Mara. I don't know if it's going to break, but if volume steps into the top side, it can look pretty, but it can also break to the downside. Let's see what Adair is up to.
Brought to you by eSignal. New traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. So don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adira. Yeah, just looking over here, it looks as if, so the White House Crypto Summit apparently is a closed-door event with no media representatives invited to attend. According to this article by Reuters and Axios, the White House is providing a live stream of the summit on its official YouTube channel. We still haven't gotten that, so kind of questioning that. Additionally, major news outlets such as Reuters are offering live coverage and updates of the event. These sources will provide comprehensive coverage. So I did load up the Reuters website there. Where is it at? So we'll see exactly if we can get anything in and around there. This is what I'm talking about right now with the Reuters situation. So we're going to keep you guys apprised. Anything we got, we're definitely going to pass on to you. But we just want to make sure that everything's accurate before regurgitating it. So we're going to, we might be a little bit slow over here, but I hope you appreciate that. Obviously, I'd rather be right than first.
Ozan's funny.
What do you say?
Did I hear eSignal? No, we're getting close to the eSignal. So make sure he's still waiting for
there
the
is
e-signal.
no one as exuberant about an
Oh, we already did. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah,
we're doing it?
Yeah, we already did it. Adair already did. We did it live. Adair just did it.
She just did it.
She just did it. So I'm too hyper focused here, guys. We broke this trend line. If we can pull up my chart, we broke that trend line that we were referring to. I love it when I point at the chart, like you guys can see it. But here we go, running into the volume weighted average price. Guys, this is why I get out of the trade. All right, this is why. So imagine I was holding this position right now. I'm just a little bit above break even. Look what I'm risking here. I'm risking 10 cents. Now we're about 30 cents in the money, a 3-to-1. Like again, that's why you got to get out of the trades and then just try to get right back in. So. The incredible Mr. Lib, what's up, my friend? What's up, my guy? What do you think of CVS? Okay, the 620, 65 calls, looking to profit at 72. All right, let's see. CVS. CVS Health. I think Adara might like this one here.
Oh.
CVS, yeah, but I don't think it's that spready. Okay, so from an intraday standpoint, you can see we have liquidity issues, but that's okay. On the 1 minute, it's absolutely not horrible, but let's zoom out and see what we got going on a daily, and then we can also take a look at the options chain. Okay, so, so the incredible. I really like this, okay? So I've showed this pattern multiple times on Google and on Tesla. So you have somewhat of a consolidation phase, then you get this liquidity grab, V up, and then you break through that V. I think there can be some continuation. You're looking for 72. If we crack 67, your next target might be into this resistance zone here. As you can see over here, guys, would put you north of 72. So I like that options play. The thing is, though, always give yourself a little bit more time. I know you want to buy something that's still 3 months out to expiration. Do 4 or 5 months, right? By the time, it's worth it. You're still getting that leveraged aspect, right? And then now you don't have to worry about theta chewing up the value of the contracts. You can just let the contract work. Matter of fact, even buy a leap if it's not that expensive, all right? So I'll even pull that up for you right now to see what those leap prices are looking like on CVS compared to something that is expiring in 3 months from now. All right, so let's see what we got going on. We're gonna go to, we'll go to March of 26 on CVS. You got some calls. The at the money are gonna charge you $7.65. Now let's go to that expiration cycle that you were referring to. That is going to put us around June. Okay, let's see what June is looking at. Again, so double the price, but then you also get like triple the amount of time, all right? So take that into consideration. I think just buying more time is always a good way in options, unless you're selling time. Even so, I talked about gamma and how it affects options contracts that are coming close to expiration. Then you just roll it out to a further date, and you don't have to worry about the volatility within those underlying assets. You can add some more stability to those contracts. But on CVS, I like it, Sharif. Let's see if it can break this high, and then I think the incredible Mr. Lib is going to be sitting on some cash with those contracts.
Good call. I want to echo Adara's sentiment there. I think she got it right. Here's what PBS News is saying on their website. So this is going to be the live one. It's going to be live in 78 minutes. It starts at 3 o'clock, March 7th. And it's said here, Trump is scheduled to speak 3 p.m. Watch in the player above. This is PBS's website over here. And as you can see, the live is scheduled to start in 78 minutes. So while the conference or the crypto conference itself starts at 1:30, it looks as if the live or any, exterior broadcast or anything like that is going to start at 3. So we'll be, the big kahunas will definitely be covering that for you guys when and if we get it at around 3 o'clock on during their show. So can't wait for that. Can't wait to see exactly what happens with crypto there. A couple of things. Let's talk about these miners. They're very strong. This is the chart on CLSK. This is the chart on Wolf, and they look awfully similar. That's because they're both bull flagging. Bull flag, consolidation, breakout top, bull flag, kind of consolidation as well. Same look here, a little bit more convoluted with a double top on CLSK. They're not going to all look identical. So this is definitely a bull flag. This is just a whole bunch of God knows what. So I like these bad boys, but I'm concerned. Well, now I'm a little less concerned knowing that comments won't probably reach the media until around 3 o'clock. So if that's the case, then maybe we don't get that big boy correction if something is said that isn't positive for crypto or Bitcoin in general. So I'm trying to think of whether I should be trying to work into one of these ones because they look good, they're directional, there's clear areas of support and resistance on them. I'm more inclined to look at Wolf than I am at CLSK, just based on the fact that this is stronger on the day. And I like the bull flag continuation, the cleanliness of this initial bull flag. What the hell is this? This ended up turning into a double top, excuse me. Well, at least what it looks like on the 5. Obviously, the second bull flag over here, not bad. But that's what I'm looking at right now, guys. I'm trying to weasel in to Wolf. Now, Wolf is very much near a resistance level. It's at that $6 area. Whole dollars act as area resistance typically. So I'd like something, maybe a little bit off that area. So if we do reject 6, I got a bit of a buffer. So here's the deal. I'm going to work in. Now, this has got lower highs, but that's fine because it's a bull flag. I'm going to work into this, okay? So we just got a very small amount of shares over here, and now I'm going to wait at the lower area of the 80s for a possible move back down. And then I'm going to set up beak wetters because we're long. So if we get a pop-up, I want to definitely get something. So we'll throw out that one there. And I'll set up more dip trades on this one. So I set up one at 82s, and now I'm going to set up one at around 77s. So we'll throw that bad boy on there. And what I'm trying to do is build a position in the bull flag range, right? So my range obviously is around 6 to about that 5 3/4. So we'll see what we get here, and we won't get upset. We're going to give this one the old Colch try. Crypto is obviously in vogue today with the conference coming up. So, maybe this one will do all right. Now, the trade that I'm currently involved in, ARBB, seems to have a seller of note at around 11. I'm long 01s, but my dip trade at 01s to add more has gone unfilled. So we'll see if we can get anything in and around there. I'm just trying to decide which one I want to take off here on the side chart. Because I need to put Wolf on there, so I need to monitor it. Okay, so we took off one here. So ARBB, the trade I'm in, Wolf, I've just weaseled into, but I by no means have my full position, looking at building my position, Joseph, within this range.
Yeah, nice look here. Guys, we're still holding on to this position here in IBIT. And again, let's just talk about from an accuracy standpoint, right? So we'll just go back and be frank. So my first entry on this trade, I was wrong, right? So right out of the gate, within a couple of minutes, 9:30 still, that third 5-minute candle hasn't even printed. So 0 for 1 right off the jump, but then you just be patient, you hop right back in here, you go 1 for 1 in, and then you become positive, try again. So now I'm 1 for 3, and then try again. Now I'm 1 for 4, and then eventually you get it to work. So that's why it's just really important to get out when you're supposed to, and then when you have those winning trades, it gives you the ability to shoot a 25% accuracy and then still have a positive name. So I think that's something really key to know and is important. So yeah, there it is. But then the other trades started to work. You take a little bit out here, and then we get stopped out again, and then eventually it works. But again, you don't want to just continue to try something. Like, you don't want to force feed something if it's not going to work. You want to stick to the thesis. You know that we recovered. Jerome Powell was talking. The market was moving as well too. If it was the inverse, if the market just continued to sell on that news, you don't necessarily want to continue to try forcing those entries. So just take that into consideration, and hopefully you guys implement that stuff in your day-to-day practice as well too, because it really helps me. So yeah, and I mean, we didn't do the playmaker poll today. It's 140, 146. There was too much going on.
We messed up.
Yeah, no, it's not even that we messed up.
You know what I can do?
What?
I can throw an alert. The calendar alert for the playmaker, because we have all those calendar alerts for the ad reads.
For the ad reads, okay.
So we won't make that
put it up
mistake
there.
again.
But yeah, but it's not even that big of a deal, right? We had a lot going on today.
Like the data that we're collecting.
I love the data. Yeah, I love the data. Yeah, I love the data that we're collecting. But Adara's been smashing it at the desk,
killing.
right? She's been dropping us. So there's definitely more important things than the playmaker poll. It's just fun to collect that data. So we got to stick to our focus and what really moves the markets here. And unfortunately, the playmaker does not do that, my guy.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Just for us, though, shout out to my man Zach Bobek. Here's the deal. He wants to know if Intel's going to break VWAP. So, you know, you can never really be able to tell the future, but I can give you my estimation. So we're below VWAP right now. We're negative on Tel, 1 1/3. But looks like we definitely found some base here at that 20 1/4, 20 1/5 area. $20 1/4, $20 1/5. We're definitely putting in higher lows. So this is a bit of an upward channel, right? You can kind of connect those highs. Let's adjust this bad boy right here to make it look a little better. So we're definitely putting in an upward channel. Whether or not we get above that $20.57 area where my VWAP is. Now, mind you, my VWAP starts generating at 4 a.m. Not everybody's VWAP does, right? So for example, our charts here on P-Pro 8 at around 6:30 or 7. Other people will not be allowed to trade, like, you know, if you have TD or something, at least in this country, not the TD you guys have down there. I think I was not allowed to trade until 8 or something like that. So the charts wouldn't generate until that time. In any event, my broker starts at 4 a.m. So VWAP for me is at $20.57. We're showing 47 cents right now. The break-even point on Intel on the day is at exactly $20.75. So to go even on the day, we have to get above VWAP. So if your bias is we had closed green on Intel, and to be quite honest with you, there aren't too many chip names, semiconductor, microchip names that are negative today. There's a couple. Taiwan Semi is one of them. Wow, Taiwan Semi's down to 175. Wow. That could be a buy. Intel, Taiwan Semi, Texas Instruments, and Marvell. Those are the only 4 of like 25 that I have on my watch list here that are negative. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad bet. But, you know, you're negative on the day. The only thing I can tell you that looks good is this upward channel. Let's see if it can get above VWAP to go above that 2075 area to go Greensville on the day. What's up, Joseph?
I don't know. Yeah, as people going off in the chat, you can continue unless you actually. So here we go, guys. Someone tell me in the chat what that exactly is, please and thank you. That is very curious. I guess my age is starting to show a little bit here, Sharif.
What are they saying?
I don't want to repeat it because I don't know if it's good or bad. That's the reason. No, okay. They're saying Joe is a. Okay, do you send me a photo? I'll wait to say it. I'm not going to say it just in case I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't want to say it. But just say, okay, everybody's just telling me to say it. They're calling me a Chad in the chat. Which
how's that bad?
I don't know what it is,
Chad.
though.
He's
What's
like a fake person who's like jacked and good looking.
Giga Chad, yeah, Giga Chad.
You never heard of this?
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I didn't know if it was a good
we're going to
thing.
load this up now, man.
All right, so someone
Look
said.
what you did, bro. Now we're going to completely digress and talk about Giga Chad.
Yeah, I don't know what a Giga Chad is.
Chad. We used to have one over here. His name was Bogdanov.
Bogdanov? Sounds like one.
Ramram, don't go to my screen quite yet in case there's some prohibited pictures over here. Here we go. This is the Giga Chad.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, I like that guy. Yeah, I like this guy.
I'm pretty sure that's a Giga Chad. Is that
all right? Yeah,
well,
I think so. So we'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, so
The chat loves it. And I think they're all agreeing with it, too. There you go, bro.
well,
There you
so there you go. We'll take it. Bang.
Why not, man?
And then
smash the bang.
and then we'll hit the foul too on Jerome Powell there. So yeah, nice work there. Thank you guys. Good stuff there. Giga options. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I like that one.
Yo, Sharif, did you just
sir,
look at this
yes,
pop
sir.
we just got here in BTC? Volume really starting to pick up. Really good look. We're still in this position. We don't have too much left here, guys. We'll take a little bit more off the top. Because I guess that's what Giga Chads do, my guy.
I like that. Well segued, Joseph Wilson. All right, very happy with this trade here on ARBB. We took out literally at the high of the day. We were long 101s. I sadly did not get my reload at 101 again, but we took out that level we had been waiting for a long time. On ARB, you're getting a whole lot of higher lows, and now you're getting those higher highs. Take it out at 14. Please as dang punch, as a dealer would say, with this trade. It's up 48%. Small cap gapper started out its life today, sub $1. Let's see if it closes out above $1. It's at 115 right now, and true to form, it hits that high a day, and then a whole bunch of sell orders come in. People want to wet their beak on some profits. Can you blame them? So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. The one we're involved in, WOLF. Are you going to do something, bro? Or are you just going to continue to sell off at 95s? We're still hanging out here near the high of the day. There does seem to be a buyer at 90. Neither of my dip trades defending this range into $0.75 has actually triggered, so we're still holding the initial position. I've got one beak wetter at 95s, the other one above 6 for the break of that top. Now, this presupposes that we take out the high of the day. The high of the day is 601. So that's my look right now on WOLF. The only trade that I've got left there, we got 89s. We're going to give this one a tight stop below that $0.75 area. So I don't mind building my position into that area, but if it loses that 70 penny, 65 penny area, we're going to cut it and we'll take our L on the day. So let's keep an eye on what else the chat is talking about. Go Wolf. Short squeeze. 5 is the bottom, says Jordy. Well, I hope you're right, my man. There he is. How's it going over there, Randy?
He said Ford.
Yeah? What you got on the phone there? Go Ford, go. You're gonna keep riding that train, eh? Until when? Until they file for bankruptcy like they did in the Great Financial Crisis? Or that was GM, my mistake. Hold on, Ford didn't get a bailout, right? During GFC, it was Chrysler and GM. They've got the bailout. Ford was good. 3.5%. Let's have a look at Ford for Randy.
Sharif.
Yes, sir.
Bitcoin is absolutely, yeah, take a look at Ford, but Bitcoin is just ripping here now.
Well, why the hell isn't Wolf ripping then, man?
I don't know, man.
I need you to talk
It's
to
not
this.
Bitcoin. It's Wolf.
We're about to go even today on Bitcoin, Joseph. We're close to that 89,000, 88,957. So fantastic look there. Let's have a look at Ford, though, because Randy's bringing it up. Let's have a look at Ford, see if it's a buy here. We're going to start on the daily first. Let's start on the weekly, Randy. Let's start on the weekly so we can have a full picture. Yeah, you know what? It's not that bad, Randy. It's not that bad. It's basically the same price it was in 2010.
No, that's crazy.
Neil, I'm not making it up. Look at the chart. I mean, like, it's right there, Neil. Like, it's had these outsized moments, Randy, when we popped up in, I want to say, early 2022 for whatever reason. We got into $26 when the market was tanking. This was making highs. Makes sense. Everything's fine. Yeah, I've got nothing positive to say about this chart right here. It's like, that's dead money for a decade and a half. That's literally dead money for a decade and a half.
Like INTC, man.
Sad to say as well. It is.
Do they even have a half decent dividend?
They got a great dividend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But if you had to choose money into Ford or money into Intel, only those two, Joseph.
Who am I going to go with?
I'll tell you why I put mine in Intel.
Well, I think you'd have to go with the tech.
I would go with
sector,
Intel because they're just receiving so much money.
Dude, what if I don't want any of them?
Well, I'm saying if you had to
I only have one
choose.
option?
Yeah, two options. Intel and Ford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with Intel.
I would go with Intel.
Yeah, I would go with Intel, yeah.
And because I feel, let's see what the chat has to say. The chat's coming in fast. They're coming in furious. I love it. We didn't even ask for opinions, but they're going to give us their opinion anyway.
Everybody's saying Intel, let's go.
Yeah. I would put Intel. Only reason is I kind of feel
that Ford may not be around in a decade and a half.
What do you mean, America's #1 pickup truck?
How many times are we going to prop this company up? They're trading at 6.5 times earnings, okay? 6.5 times earnings. Their PE, not even a forward PE, the actual PE, 6.57 versus the industry standard of 13.25. So they're half the industry standard. Obviously, I don't want to compare them to Tesla. They're not the same type of company. Tesla, with even the pullback, Joseph, trading at 130 times earnings.
Oh.
Why is the market giving them such a premium and Ford such a discount?
What's a Tesla's forward PE?
I don't know what the Ford PE. I can't get it on this one for whatever reason. Their actual PE, though, I can got. Let's have a look at GM's PE, Joseph. 7.69, so a little bit higher than Ford's. That makes sense to me. STLA. Let's see what we got here. 6.5. They're all three. They're at the same 6.5 to 7.5. There's a reason for that, Joe.
Someone in the chat said a lot of Chads drive Fords.
A lot of what?
Chads drive Fords.
Yeah, maybe Ford Mustang.
Yeah, Mustang. Yeah, Cobra, exactly, or the Shelby.
Bro.
Shelby.
Aren't they the same?
Yeah, I think so.
Randy, Shelby and Cobra, same thing or no? No, they're not, right?
There you go.
So Shelby is its own thing?
Shelby.
Oh, here comes the mic.
Get the mic.
Here comes the mic. Here he is.
Pull him up here.
Bring him
Got
in.
a couple minutes left.
Bring him in.
The Randy Minute.
Shelby's a brand name. Yes, Carroll Shelby.
Carroll Shelby, and that was the
original Shelby.
Yeah, that's the movie that we watched, that's out right. Remember him doing the deal with Ford.
Yes.
Ford was trying to strong arm him.
Ford uses the name for their upper echelon Mustangs and toys. What was that?
It was Neil Roberts. That's what it was.
Photo bomb. Yeah, it's a moniker. It's like, their upper end toys. The Shelby GT350R, the GT500R. So, I mean, neither of which are made anymore. But, well, what? Ow. I just got nailed.
What happened?
Corrected.
Corrected. I like it.
Corrected.
So, Randy, you're choosing the Shelby or are you choosing the Cobra?
You can't buy either one anymore. Even the GT40 is now out of
So what is
production.
it, SVT now? Is it just SVT, the Mustang
It's a
SVT?
special vehicle teams thing. It's kind of like, it's I don't know. Lease picked up Scott Lawton, by the way.
Jokes.
So,
all right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Randy, for the midday chime. Fiddleback, I don't know if you are trading real money. We're always trading real money here, my man. But Wolf is not crypto. It's Wolf. Sorry, it was driving me crazy. All right, man. No worries.
Man. I said that.
Wolf, okay. Wolf Speed, you're absolutely right. Innovator wide band gap semiconductors focused on silicon carbide materials and device for powering applications. You're absolutely right. It's still breaking out anyway. So it's got a good, decent move under it here, but it's just not printing me. If I could show the screen, please, at $5.95. So thank you for that, Fiddleback. You're absolutely right. Well said there, my man. An oversight by me. He's talking about WULF, TerraWolf. That's the crypto adjacent name. It's up about exactly 10% lower than this one, 7.29 WULF. I'm looking at WOLF. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for pointing that out. Good call out. Oversight by me, Joseph. What do you got?
Yeah. That's it, guys. We got all out of Bitcoin as we breached the volume-weighted average price right into it, and then we pulled back a little bit here. But a nice volume spike, a nice momentum spike here in IBIT. But we got another $10 super chat. Anthony Vance, thoughts on Apple? Yeah, I mean, here we go. Put in a new high a day up here, guys. Now pulling back into the volume-weighted average price. One thing to note here, Anthony, is that look how strong Apple was compared to the Qs, right? So the Qs were selling for the majority of the session, first hour or so. So here we zoom out. So from 10 o'clock all the way down to about 12:30, and then you get a little bit of a V-shaped recovery. But again, it held up relatively strong, and it is down the least out of the Mag 7. Oops. It is down the least out of the Mag 7, right, percentage-wise. So take that into consideration as well, too. I mentioned that Their free cash flow is extremely strong, 100 billion in free cash flow, and they can find their way around tariffs with the iPhone, so it may not impact them as much. So down 8%. If we were to go through the other 6 big names, they're going to be down double digits. So holding up relatively well. Let's see if some of these indecision candles hold here, and then you can see a nice trend line being constructed. So I like Apple. It's unfortunately my smallest holding, and it's holding up the best here, Sharif. So
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So
All right,
that's
it's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, man.
They're over there. Peace.
Friday. Well,
Well, that was quick and
What kind of a throw was that? You gotta go to
semi-awkward.
the gym or something, Sharif?
Wow.
What's up with that?
It's Friday. It's 2 o'clock. They're over there.
It's 2:01.
Go.
He out of here. He out of here.
Yo, the Chad is trying to finish his thought over there. Like, were you here for that?
No, I was here.